Does it feel like to anyone else he's just like throwing the wall to see what sticks? The first mistake you want to talk about is covering dangerous content. He censors her through the entire thing. Yeah, but do they have records because of you? No, they don't. You've never got anyone arrested ever.
To a child.
I'm sorry, I need a second. So she, at the scene of the crime, was in his DMs at the time. Okay, can you show evidence of that happening? Because all you've got is Xylee gets real, having like a Twitter back and forth with somebody. You'll never guess what's just happened. The holy grail of the commentary community is back. MamaMax has refused to put the fries in the bag, bro. He's back. He's creating content again. The trial of MamaMax. My side. He's no longer God cult. He's no longer mentally ill. Leviathans are coming for you. Okay, let's go. 2.5 hours, bro. Belphegor. Okay, so the last like half an hour of it is like filled up with his dog. Okay, and the last bit are what? Personal questions. We can get through this tonight. Let's go.
Hey everyone, welcome to the Year Late MamaMax cancellation response video. This is a very dense video, so I've divided it into 5 main sections. Introduction and recap, Night Docs, Nexpo, and Mudahar, Spencer's allegations, personal questions, and Belphegor. With that said, let's go and have fun.
Why is one of the 5... Okay. Why the fuck is the last chapter of your video dedicated to your dog?
Hi. Hello. Why should we trust you? There's 2 sides to every story, and I'm sure you've gotten hundreds of one side, but there's still a whole other side.
Do you want to have a look? How many careers have been built, do you think,
hello,
on MamaMax's downfall?
Why should we trust you? There's 2 sides.
Okay, Octopus Man. Don't know who this is. Nuxtaku. Oh my god. I don't even know who this guy is. It's over. Does that look kind of DK-ish, maybe? How old are you? It's a fucking wolf. Nicholas Teorio. I think that's Willie Mac Show. I don't know who this is. This is a gem of a thumbnail. Okay.
And I'm sure you've gotten hundreds of one side, but there's still a whole other side you haven't seen yet. But that's
well, to be fair, that's not just the other side, right? A lot of that is like independent commentators who are talking about the situation, right? That's not the other side.
Change. What happened?
To be fair, the other side of the story would be Camden Gerard Davis. The name seared into my mind forever. That would be the other side. That would be the other side. But so far as I'm aware, Camden's never actually responded. The other side to this story is commentators independently looking at the allegations that Max has levied. And even from that, he got burned.
That's a lot to explain. So, a survivor reached out to me for help regarding a case of an alleged cult leader and child predator.
Dude, I can't see his face. I can't see his face without laughing now.
Asked me if I could platform them where we platform the survivors and let them have a voice. But I quickly realized that we needed help given the gravity of this case, and the purpose of our campaign evolved to find
I do know the law.
More survivors in order to build a criminal case against the accused party.
And the question was, why do you need to bring in more survivors? And the question is as well, bringing in help includes what? Making a video about Charlie from Moist Critical, making it sound as though he's the...
Since he was still active.
I'm scared about Max exposing Musa for the Nuxtaku shit. That would be a fucking gem.
Can I speak to Officer badge number?
Jesus Christ, bro. Jesus.
And so I reached out to...
Please play the clip. Do you really need me to play the clip again? Have we not all seen the clip? Okay. Okay, there we are. Fucking hell.
To institutions, journalists, lawyers, and experts in the field of cult psychology.
The leader uses these techniques to gain undue influence over his or her followers.
Are we still getting...
to this as
He's still taking the cult angle. Is he going to try and push that? Because I remember the last criticism he got, right? The last little bit of criticism he dished out was that the people pushing this kind of criticism against him were involved in what, milieu control?
Brainwashing or mind control.
But most notably, I reached out to my peers on YouTube. The most influential among them was Charlie, who has helped me in the past.
This also comes into play with MamaMax's video, if you remember that controversy that happened. I imagine most people who don't know the situation and don't know MamaMax will see this and just be like, what the fuck is going on here?
Well, you didn't just reach out to him. Is he going to show the rest of the DMs? You're constantly badgering him.
His support has always been invaluable, and since I've seen him fight corruption before, and he is one of the most respected voices on the platform, I truly believed he could make a difference. But it was difficult.
By what? Speaking about what? Max himself admitted he had no evidence. There was no evidence to speak of. He took on the case, and then he wanted other people to essentially do the work. And he had this weird notion that he had to get in a bunch of other people to like speak about it, to like get all these victims, and then they can proceed with the criminal case. Completely, as if he wants to do he wants the police to do a criminal case essentially in the format of like a mass tort. Or like a class action. He wants to do a class action criminal investigation.
To get anyone to just listen to the survivors.
People did listen. People joined the Discord. People watched the video on stream.
And so I created artificial drama to get people's attention.
Well, no, you slandered him as a with your thumbnail and title, no? Didn't he say something about there's a predator problem on YouTube and had Charlie as the thumbnail?
Literally cancel you, Charlie. And to be clear, I was always upfront that the drama was fake. This is a call to action disguised as a cancellation. And that worked.
Yeah.
Until it didn't.
Stop ignoring MamaMax. Yeah, so here, you want me to talk about it a little bit? That rubbed me the wrong way.
I still don't feel good about that decision. But then, the people that I trusted, the people that I looked up to, the people that I considered...
No. I don't feel good about that decision. Yeah, you defended it all the way up until the end. In fact, you had like defense of it all the way until the very fucking end. You never conceded on it then. And there was way more. There was way more than just that then eventually led to these videos.
My best friends, they all turned on me. In an attempt to protect their own reputations, because they saw what was happening to me. And then they resorted to creating their own deceptions around me.
No, that's not MamaMax. That's, I believe that's Nexpo, right?
So that way, they could bury me. No one will ever believe what I say. I'm a fraud. I'm a liar. I'm a manipulator.
Yeah, we all feel very sorry for you,
deceiver. I'm a monster. And then they wiped their hands and
these people very nasty to you.
Pretended like I never existed. But I do.
Yeah, a lot of people tried to pretend you never existed because everyone hated you, and you know, for like valid reasons. Your reputation like went into the gutter. People stopped sweeping for you. Yeah, and also other people stopped talking about you because you're irrelevant. You didn't post anymore, and they were embarrassed to have engaged with you.
Exist. And I do have my own side to all
Max got fat. No. He's wearing like a tank top. He's wearing a tank top. You don't understand. He's like bench and like, you know, like hench and like fit and stuff like that, you know? It's not like that.
This. And that's what I'm doing now, is clarifying some things, presenting some new information that some of you might have not known. And hopefully in the near future, we will resolve all of this drama. So that way we can get back to the more important work. Do you acknowledge that you've made mistakes, and if so, which?
Ooh.
Of course, I've made mistakes. And I think one of my biggest mistakes was covering dangerous content at a time I was too immature and uneducated.
The first mistake you want to talk about is covering dangerous content. Okay.
On the subject matter. It's important to note that I did not have a mentor. I did have some military training, but I was mostly learning as I was going.
He did not have military training. He went to boot camp, had a few weeks there, had a mental breakdown because the girl that he fancied was with another man, and then tried to kill himself and got discharged. Am I wrong? That was during boot camp. Military training.
And I felt what I was doing was much too serious.
What the fuck is this?
The amount of child exploitation that is happening all over the internet still does not get enough exposure to this day.
Okay.
And that leads me to another big mistake, which was mixing fiction and non-fiction. For cases...
Yes. I mean, what was the quote? What was the quote? Everything is a story, you know, except for the bits where I'm telling people, you know, this is true. Here is a pedophile doing all this stuff. Everything else is fiction. He lied about getting the guy arrested on podcasts. It's not about mixing fact with fiction. It's about lying and not telling people that you were lying.
That are too volatile for dramatization. At the time, I felt I could do no wrong if entertainment helps bring awareness to these very real issues. But retrospectively, it just creates confusion around what's real and what's not in the long term. But I have been quite transparent about this since the very beginning.
All information was hidden or censored. Names and identities were altered to protect the privacy of non-consenting parties. All dramatization, individuals, dialogue are fictional and meant for storytelling purposes.
How would you explain that? It's like half fiction, half kind of a story?
I call it hybrid, like documentaries, because it's like, yeah. It's...
No, what you... No. Dude, this is totally... He's going to give places here where he says, like, yeah, you know, the stuff about the international pedo cabal. Yeah, everyone knew that was fiction, obviously. What about where you said that you got Pablo Sonny arrested?
It is half fiction that is parallel to the real story, and then there's just the real story.
Which is why the full investigation was publicly available in the mega drives that were linked in the paste bins of my video descriptions.
Until your mega drive got taken down for having TP in it.
That were then reported and taken down, with claims that they contained CSUM. But there was no CSUM, it was just documenting predators and their interactions with me.
I'm pretty sure it wasn't taken down because of what mass flagging. It was taken down because it had a hash code that matched with it. It wasn't from a mass flagging campaign.
Entire investigation from accessing the platform, creating an account, interacting on the site, speaking with predators, speaking with victims, and everything that happened from beginning to end were present in OBS screen recordings on those mega drives. There is so much information that I would
I don't want to see this
pertaining to previous investigations that I now cannot present because these drives have been taken down. I did not create a backup because I was not comfortable keeping all of this evidence of predators on my personal computer. So my team helped me upload it and let it go.
Wait, why? So you're saying it included no CSAM, but you didn't want to host... You didn't want to host the evidence on your... But why? Why not?
To the evidence of predators on my personal computer. So my team helped me upload it and let it go to the public. Mega is quite clear that you can report objectionable material. Because our end-to-end zero-knowledge encryption means we do not know the nature of content that is uploaded. Mega is only able to take down content when a public link has been reported to us. And since these were videos of predators getting naked and masturbating under the impression that I am a minor, I don't necessarily disagree with this decision, but that was the only source proving that these investigations were real. And since they are gone, it has been very easy for everyone to say that they are just fake. But
were they auto dinged? I mean, you can show us the email.
But obviously they are not. These platforms and predators are very real. Some of these same creators have covered them with me on multiple occasions.
So some of you may have seen
auto dinged, yes.
The video
somebody
that,
sent me a screenshot
both
that
myself
so long ago.
And Ryan did, but most importantly MamaMax did, on a website called kidschat.net. It is a haven for predators.
We made reports to the FBI and NCMEC together, and I don't know how anyone can think that the predators are fake. No, these are not paid actors. These are child predators. Some of them even have records.
Do people actually say that? Yeah, but do they have records because of you? They have records because of you. No, they don't, because you never got anyone arrested ever.
To a child is now charged with pandering obscenity. Wayne Barnett is 60 years old, and the sheriff says Barnett sent the images to a 12-year-old.
Now, I'd like to clarify that I never actually claimed to personally get these arrests.
You went on and you said, this guy was arrested, it was because of me, it was because of my video.
But I never said this.
So you did find out who he is. You did find out who he is, but you didn't put him in jail. Is that fair to say?
I don't know if we put him in jail, is what I'm saying.
Okay.
And anytime a predator is arrested, I always...
Okay, let's see the full context of that. Let's see the full context of that. MamaMax half baked. Because I'm not sure that that's true.
Hello, ladies and gentlemen.
But that could be, I could be misremembering, okay? So I'm going to search in the transcript for arrested. He's saying, I don't know. I mean, it's kind of alluding that, you know, possibly, but okay. Arrests.
He's custody for a certain amount of time. I don't know if they did anything yet, but I will be making an update video about him soon.
So he was arrested at some point. It's fair to say that. You know that.
I don't know if it was he was arrested or they just like interrogated him. Like, you know how police they don't have to arrest you to question you.
Right.
Because I don't know if his victims, he did have previous victims before.
To be clear, they never actually arrested this guy. Wait, what?
Which is, I think, a takeaway some people have had from the video. And she says, remember when,
No, it's not the original. Let's go. This has got to be it, but I can't find anywhere else where it says arrest.
So he was arrested at some point. It's fair to say that. You know that.
I don't know if he was arrested or they just like interrogated him. Like, you know how police they don't have to arrest you to question you.
Right.
Because I don't know YouTube.
So you did find out who he is. You did find out who he is, but you didn't put him in jail. Is that fair to say?
I don't know if we put him in jail, is what I'm saying.
Okay.
But yes, if we did find him, it did like end his life in a way. Like he got
okay. So we did find him. It did end his life in a way.
Evicted from his residence. All of his friends know. His family knows. He was fired from his job.
Okay.
He no longer is an influencer. He was like a musician.
Right.
And all his shit got taken down.
Okay.
Right.
I said find him, and then within 24 hours we found him. And then I started
to jail.
All we had was his face and his voice.
Right.
And out of that, I said find him, and then within 24 hours we found him. And then I started social engineering all of his friends to give me his information, and they did. And then we pegged him. He fled to Mexico. We found where he was in Mexico.
Wow.
I don't know if the police, he was from Canada, so I don't know if the police asked him to come back.
As all terrible people are.
Mm-hmm. I don't know if the police asked him to come back or he went on his own volition or they forced him to come back. I don't know any of those details. I just know he went back to Canada and was in police custody for a certain amount of time. I don't know if they did anything yet, but I will be making an update video about him soon.
So he was arrested at some point. It's fair to say that. You know that.
Right, okay. So you pegged him. Okay. But that guy actually never ended up getting arrested.
Discredit my audience who do the legwork.
And it was all thanks to you.
It appears he never claimed the guy was arrested here. Well, he seems to not be sure, but he said that he pegged him. Now, what does that mean? Okay, speculating on what. let's have a brief conversation. Okay, when MamaMax said that he pegged Pablo Sonny, what did he mean by that? What did he mean by that? Anyway. Very unfortunate pixelation. Jesus.
Finally, I think platforming survivors before we were ready to handle the public.
Well, I mean, the thing would be, like, to the best of my knowledge, no, right? He said, well, I don't know. I don't know if we got him arrested.
Was a huge mistake. I did read books and reach out to experts and institutions to educate myself on the subject matter. I did get the consent of the victims who appeared in these videos before releasing them. And I did ask my peers for feedback, which most of them did not have anything negative to say until after the backlash. But clearly none of us were ready for what ended up happening. And I do take a great share of responsibility for what happened. And I don't feel good about it. Those are just a few mistakes, out of many, many more I know I've made.
Why is he censoring her now? I don't know, because she's named. She's named, so surely he has to, like, show her... No. He censors her throughout the entire thing. And because of her, you know, like, her build, let's say, because of her build, it just looks like she's like spilling out, like it's boobs everywhere, you know?
Always learning and trying to do better. Genuine question here. Why did you betray Night Docs despite all that he did for you? Is he lying or is he telling the truth that you made false allegations concerning him? I actually really want to talk about this. So just for some background, I met Jim Pagel, creator of Night Docs, at PAX South 2020.
Okay. So here's the thing. Am I falling for the psyop? I don't think so, okay? This adds a little bit of nuance. No. He never directly claimed to have got Pablo Sunny arrested, okay? He never directly claimed to have got Pablo Sunny arrested. However, heavily implied with that was the case, when in fact, he never got arrested.
This is where I also met Nexpo, Mudahar, and some other YouTubers. This was my first experience meeting other YouTubers, besides a random...
And his only evidence to say that he did get arrested was some kind of comment that was left by him that he had no way of verifying, and never did verify.
Collaboration with Official Duck Studios in 2019.
You never corrected it, no.
Anyway, this was my first real friend group with other influencers. And I was a bit awkward, to say the least. But I became very close with these people, specifically Night Docs and Nexpo.
No! Guys, whoa, guys, what's going on? Guys, stop, drawers, the drawers, not my drawers! Give me the fucking camera!
And Ruby and I ended up moving in with Night Docs when he invited me. And from what I remember, Jim was a very kind person and an extremely loyal friend.
Max and
didn't you call
Ryan, like, those guys are as close to being my brothers as you can be without being blood related. I mean, I would do anything for those dudes.
And I have so many fond memories with Jim. But Jim would often get on Ryan's nerves, Nexpo, when we would film together. I remember this happened with pretty much every episode of Cringe Kitchen, as well as Ben Drowns Again, that we all filmed together. And I think it was because Jim has ADHD. He is prescribed Adderall and often drank a lot of energy drinks, on top of a nicotine addiction. So Jim would often get lost in whatever he was doing, and this would result in Ryan getting pissed off and venting to me about Jim.
Probably bring maybe Max and Nexpo along too, if they're up for it. I know Max will be all on board with it. Max is like, always like, whenever I ask Max about anything, he's like, yeah, dude, let's do it. Come on, let's go. Like, he's really awesome that way. Ryan tends to be a little busier, and all that. So not as easy to get a hold of, Nexpo all the time. He also shuts his phone off quite a lot too. So he's hard to get a hold of unless he wants to be available.
Ryan and I would become closer than brothers. I think just because he was a year older than me and our opposing personalities mixed well.
Okay.
And there were times when he would ask me questions about living with Jim, and I told him I would help Jim care for his girls when he was busy.
What is that? Who do you want to be here? Max. You miss Max? Well, I'll show Max this. You want to tell anything to Max?
He
Max
claims he mistreated and neglected his kids, yeah.
Right here, what would you tell Max?
And called him a pedophile.
Actually, I want you to come back.
Now let me be clear. Just because I would supervise and feed the girls on occasion does not mean I think Jim is a bad father. Jim is actually very kind and loving. From everything I have seen, his children are very happy with him. I am just explaining my side of what was happening when I lived with him. So when Ryan and I would hang out without Jim, he was always very curious about what was going on at his place. So he would ask me questions. Ryan always loved talking about Jim. Anyway, I fell in love with a woman who was helping me hunt predators, and Jim graciously let me invite her to stay with me for a week. And this is when I started hearing the first rumors about Jim from this girlfriend, because she was chronically online and spent most of her time on all of our Discord servers and participated in a lot of the gossip that happens on these servers.
It wasn't me, guys. It wasn't me, guys. I just, like, blindly repeated the thing that I said about my bed blob layabout girlfriend who spent all her time online. She's the one who heard these, like, pedo accusations.
It wasn't anything serious. It's just that Jim was very flirty with women, which isn't a crime, so I didn't really care. But again, when Ryan would ask me questions, I would answer him honestly. And since he was also hearing some of the same stuff from his own Discord server, we would compare notes and discuss what we've been hearing. And then we started witnessing firsthand how Jim would behave with women in real life, saying some pretty inappropriate things that would create some awkward situations. And it's not like he was hurting anyone, but I think because of that, and the rumors, and some other personal stuff, over time we started to distance ourselves from Jim, and eventually we just stopped talking to him. That was the extent of my relationship with Night Ducks, but things did not get that bad for him until VidCon 2022, when Ryan told Mutahar about all of this. And that's when Jen, Mutahar's wife, told us about her experiences with Night Dogs.
You know, in regards like Night Dogs. The whole situation is like, you know, you hear some things and then you're trying to figure out where they're coming from, and then you find out, you know, it was originating from Max the whole time.
Yeah.
Not that Night Dogs doesn't have fault of things of his own.
Now I'm gonna leak her DMs that she sent during my cancellation to a witness who will be speaking shortly. Hey, I remember a couple years ago hearing the whole Jim and the waitress story and that you felt uncomfortable. Was I remember things wrong? It was some joke from Jim about him and I potentially spit roasting with the waitress that talked to us there. It came out of nowhere and it just surprised me, on top of me thinking it was just weird and disrespectful, lol. He's saying now the waitress was into it. From what I remember, she wasn't around at all when the joke was made, and I can't recall him talking to her directly. Unless it was while I was in the bathroom, I don't know. I mainly remember everyone there just being like, what the fuck, when he said that to me. I can't speak for the waitress if she'd be into that, talk or not.
Okay.
I'm just trying to piece together some things because cool, it's not a pedo, I guess. He was still out of pocket and obnoxious. I feel for the dude. I feel like it's textbook divorcee dad behavior. As for the other claims, I have no idea. He got too pushy with me before I met Muta. He can't read a room.
No jangles! So she, at the scene of the crime, was in his DMs at the time, hyping him up before all this came out and was disavowed, was questioned again. She was supporting it. She was still pushing it. Dude, she's like the fucking Japanese soldier who's still there on some fucking island shooting at some fucking Asian villagers 20 years after the war has fucking ended.
So just for everyone to be crystal clear on this, Mutahar and Jen were already saying, and I quote, Night Dogs is a creep. Even Mutahar himself admits he did not hear any of the rumors from me.
In regards to Jim or Night Dogs, there were two allegations. One of them which had come from Max, allegedly, in amongst a friend group, about him not being necessarily the best dad. There were two key things. One of them was him being asleep most days, and then the other was that Max would have to step in and feed his children cereal or whatever else was in the house. This is something that I heard, again, not from Max, but through our internal...
Okay, bro, you're getting too big for your boots.
So the thing is here, Mutahar is saying that he heard this allegedly from Max. That's what he said at the time, okay? Now he's hearing this rumor, and he's hearing that it's coming from Max, who lived with him for a somewhat prolonged period of time. So if it didn't come from Max, who did it come from?
Friend group. And while this one definitely raised some questions about, okay, you know, you got to be attentive if you're the dad, it wasn't necessarily the most serious thing. However, what was more serious was the allegation where he had allegedly started unzipping himself in front of a minor, exposing himself over a Discord video call. Now, I actually confronted Jim about this one specifically because I wasn't exactly, I needed to know the bottom of this truth, or I need to understand or at least get his side, because obviously I met the person in reality. Me and my wife confronted him, and in this situation, Jim obviously categorically denied that he had done anything, but I didn't have any evidence for or against Jim, and you know, in spite of all that, I still decided to, you know, hold back my connection, not talk as much anymore. We weren't necessarily the most talkative people anyways, but this absolutely sealed the deal, and that's just because I don't really like to interact with somebody that even has that kind of an ick on them or that stain, because again, I don't know what's true or what isn't. In this situation, I just decided to dial back the friendship that I had. So obviously, considering everything now, I'm more inclined to believe Jim at his word, given the other party.
So let's break this down. Mutahar claims that there were two allegations. One of them, only one of them, had come from me, allegedly, which was that Jim was a bad dad. And then...
Wait, the second one hadn't... Okay. The second one about...
And Mutahar even admits he did not hear this rumor from me. It was from an anonymous source within the internal friend group that he intentionally does not name, who was spreading these rumors to him. And then the other allegation, which Mutahar has already implied, did not come from me, because remember, only one of them came from me allegedly, which was that Jim was exposing himself to a minor over a Discord video call. So if these rumors did not come from me, who did they come from? It was Ryan who spread those rumors to Mutahar. And from my memory, Mutahar and Jen spread those rumors to everyone else.
So wait, did Mutahar lie? Okay.
Implied did not come from me, which was that
friendship.
I'm going back to hear this.
Jim, and you know, because
I am paying
wasn't
attention.
exactly. I need to know the bottom of this truth, or I need to understand, or at least get his side, because obviously, definitely raised some questions about. Okay, you know, got to be attentive.
So the second one, he didn't say it directly from anyone.
Mutahar and Jen. Mutahar himself.
There were two allegations. One of them, which had come from Max, allegedly, in amongst a friend group, about him not.
So one of them, which came from Max, allegedly. Okay. But then the second one, okay. I see.
This absolutely sealed the deal that I had. Obviously, considering everything now.
Then why is he bringing it up in relation to all the Mama? Okay. He should probably have been a little bit clearer that the second one he heard from somebody else. Okay.
I'm more
allegedly that he intended only
Back
one
to
of
the
them
video.
It was Ryan who spread those rumors to Mutahar.
But he heard neither from Max. Okay, but the name attached to the rumor was from Max.
From my memory, Mutahar and Jen spread those rumors to everyone else, telling every other YouTuber that Night Docs is a predator who abuses his kids. And I was like, okay, I guess that's what these people do. For the record, I was not even present while this was happening. But you could say we were all...
Wait, you what?
Those rumors to everyone else, telling every other YouTuber that Night Docs is a predator who abuses his kids. And I was like...
Do we have any DMs for this? Do we have any DMs for this?
Like, okay, I guess that's what these people do. For the record, I was not even present while this was happening. But you could say we were all responsible for spreading rumors about Night Docs. But of course, when I start getting canceled, they reached out to Jim and pinned all of these rumors on me. My statement on the MamaMax video just released today by Nicholas Diorio, where I explained for the first time what Max did to me. I'm grateful to Nexpo, Ordinary Game...
Night Docs feels as though these happened. Night Docs said they came from Matt. Okay.
Gamers and others who listen. I'm grateful to you. I know people have been wondering where I went and why I fell off so abruptly. My comment section is full of questions. The truth is that over a 3 to 4 year time span, I experienced one traumatic event after another. I was suffering from severe depression. Then I went through a messy, identity-shattering divorce. The woman I loved and knew me better than anyone rejected me. I lost my job, facing more rejection about my ability to do what I was hired to do professionally. My grandmother died, my house flooded during the big Texas freeze, and since I no longer had a job, I was on a mortgage payment deferment, which meant I believed I didn't have home insurance, so I wasn't able to repair the damage, and my house became a depressing mess, falling into disrepair with a concrete slab for a floor. My house then caught fire during a live stream. On top of all this, some of my closest friends who I thought...
Man, I forgot how bleak the Night Dog stuff was. Jesus Christ.
Knew me well completely rejected me and cut me off. So this is true. We all cut him off. There were multiple reasons for why this happened. Some I already explained, and there's others I probably don't even know about.
When I lost all my friends, I just went away from YouTube and all that. Like, I just lost all of my self-esteem. I just felt like I was like irredeemable. There was something wrong with me that I just, nobody would ever want to be around me. And I had no idea what it was that I did, but I was like, I'm obviously just a piece of shit.
So you'd say this impacted your career, I guess?
Absolutely, it impacted my career. I completely fell off.
And while I was given an explanation, it didn't make any sense to me. Then I found out that Max, who I had opened my home to and allowed to live rent-free just so I could have a friend nearby to help alleviate the loneliness and isolation I was feeling, had gone behind my back and spread false allegations of the worst sort about me to my closest friends and didn't even have the courage to tell me. Worst of all, I could not defend myself because not only did I not even know my character had been completely assassinated...
Who did he hear that from?
He had so much credibility both publicly and privately that I didn't stand a chance of being believed, even if I knew about what he had said. I simply wasn't strong enough anymore.
His allegations against me range from I'm a neglectful parent to I am a creep, that I'm a pedophile. Essentially, the one that I was most bothered by really was when he was calling me a pedophile. He wasn't saying it publicly. None of the allegations he had against me were said publicly. He was doing it all behind the scenes with the people that I was closest to.
The truth is that we were all doing this behind the scenes.
What?
But it seems no one else wants to take accountability.
So he's saying that he did do this. He did do this. It's just other people did it as well. I mean, to be fair, Mutahar is like, tarring him with that brush.
For among some of the many
He's
other
not
things
denying it, no. He just said, like, they did it as well.
They don't want to take any accountability for. But don't worry, we
To
will
be
get
fair,
to
though,
them.
yeah, this is one of the things that fucking burned him, right? Is this one of the things that burned him? This is this is in the afterburn of the drama, to be fair. This is the afterburn of the drama, but Mutahar never admitted it, and everyone else pinned it on Max as like, oh, he told us all this, he told us all this.
Later.
But actually, no, that's not true. Actually, that's not true. Mutahar didn't do that. Mutahar didn't do that. If Mutahar's even admitted himself that he heard one of these allegations, allegedly from Max, so his name is kind of, you know, pinned to the allegation when he heard it, and then he heard the second one. Did he try to pin this on Max? Where has this narrative come from, then? That Max was the one who was slandering Nexpo? Or is that just the way that the public perceived it when it came out? Okay, but Mutahar is a fucking liar. They would lie to save face. He was obviously trying to pin it on Max. No, he said that the rumor originally originated with Max. Yeah. Not the second one, though.
And as you will soon see, their noses are not clean. By this time, I'd completely run out of money and knew it was too dangerous for me to live alone. So I moved in with my parents, further eroding my self-esteem. My father and brother and I spent months repairing the damage from the flood and the fire and sold my house. I had
Nexpo and Night Ducks are two different people. Yeah, I know.
It seemed to be undeniable empirical evidence that I was a toxic piece of shit that people were better off without. With nothing left to live for and no visible path to an existence worth enduring, I came within hours of doing something very stupid and very permanent. I had a plan, a place, and had made up my mind. I planned on leaving no note, because at this point I felt like I was so worthless that it wasn't even worth explaining anything. And then my daughters saved me. The image of their faces too young to understand and so unconditionally loving, it wasn't fair. My parents checked me into a mental health facility that evening where I stayed for over a week and a half. So I do feel really bad for Jim, and I can empathize with what he was going through, considering I'm going through pretty much the exact same thing that these same people are claiming I orchestrated.
No, no, no. You are not going through the exact same thing, retard. Oh my, he's got a good point and then he fucking ruins it. He's got a good point and then he fucking ruins it. No, you're not going through the same thing. You do not have a kid or children that you need to fucking like care for. And a lot of the fucking criticism of you is not built like foundationally on lies about your personal life or allegations about things that you've done behind the scenes that causes people to like cut ties with you. Holy fuck. How did he snatch defeat from the jaws of victory? What the fuck is this?
Pretty interesting, huh? Until only last week.
No,
when
and he's not even... Oh my god, dude. He's dropping that in and it was so fucking unnecessary. Oh my god. He can't help but fucking victimize himself.
Called me to tell me what Max had done to me
He gave every shitty commentary channel the easiest out to discount any and all potential nuance to be had here. Completely true. Completely true.
Behind the scenes, I really believed everything that had happened to me was deserved. I'm just now starting to put my life back together. So for any of you that just missed that, Night Docs just revealed that all of this is stemming from a call with Nexpo.
What Ryan initially told me, that him calling me a pedo or whatever, Ryan told me the story that he basically brought me up out of the blue.
So regarding Jim, there were two specific stories that Max really harped on when it came to Night Docs, at least whenever we had our little, I guess, falling out. So Max was convinced that Jim was this pedophile creep, and he backed up this claim with, firstly, a story about an inappropriate conversation that he claimed Jim had with a minor. As it turned out, this person was not a minor at all. They had told Jim their age at one point, which I believe was like 25 or so. I'm not entirely sure, but that's that whole story that Max always referred to back whenever he would call Jim a predator. There was another story that led to more of Max believing Jim to be, I guess, a creep, and it involved one trip to a restaurant that he and Jim had way back when Max was living with Jim. Apparently Jim was, making moves on the waitress and, continuously hitting on her, and he just wouldn't stop, and it made this, I guess, situation, or this dinner that they were at, very tense and awkward. Basically, every single time that I was with Max during the time when we had our, I guess, falling out, I guess you could call
it. Are there no logs for this? Let's see if Max supplies any, I guess.
Max would perpetuate this narrative that Jim was this pedophile creep, and he would always refer back to these two stories. And I guess I just never really vetted them, because Max kind of planted this idea in my head that, oh my god, we're associated with Jim, we have to cut Jim, we cannot be associated with someone like this, he's a pedophile. he's a creep, he's all of these things, and we can't associate with this guy. And in hindsight, it's silly.
Right now, your bullshit detectors are probably going off like crazy because this story makes absolutely no sense.
You're right, Nick. My bullshit detector is going off like crazy. So Mudahar made 2 claims that he literally...
Dude, that's so... The image. The image. Okay, he kind of won there.
My bullshit detector is going off like crazy. So Mudahar made 2 claims that he literally admits he did not hear from me, that Jim is a bad dad who sleeps all day, and that there's a Discord video of him unzipping his pants to a minor, which is completely different from the 2 claims Ryan is making, which is that Jim was having an inappropriate conversation with a 25-year-old adult that apparently I claimed was a minor, and then that Jim is flirting with a waitress. And their response to these supposed claims is
no, supposed claims. It seems to Dojangles that in your conversation, what do you mean supposedly? The conversation with the waitress, that is a claim that you were making.
Not to investigate it any further. It's just to disassociate from Jim, even though they knew Jim longer than they knew me. They just blindly believed these claims I supposedly made that, again...
You did make the second, though. What's the supposed?
Admits I did not make. And, okay, yeah, Nick, you're right. These stories don't make any fucking sense whatsoever. Pretty funny, then, that you made an entire video, your crowning achievement, based on these unsubstantiated claims. Good job, buddy. I have a good therapist. My daughters love me with a childlike innocence that heals with every hug and kiss on the cheek.
Wait, this is retarded. Isn't this your responsibility to spread these rumors? Yeah, this does go both ways. And, yeah, he seemingly doesn't accept that. He seemingly doesn't accept that at all. And he's also dropping a lot of supposedlys in there when he seemingly has already admitted that it's completely true.
They know that Daddy is sad but are too young to understand. But they truly saved my life by simply being who they are, and the thought of them dealing with the fact that their father wouldn't be around for birthdays, graduations, weddings, all of the boy problems, it kept me alive. If not for myself, for them. I recommend watching...
You're reading this guy's story as if it's supposed to be sad, and we're supposed to feel bad for him about what Nexpo and fucking Mutahar did. You were part of this too, you...
Watching Nicholas Diorio's latest video, linked below, talking about what Max has done broadly. You'll hear me speak on the record for the first time about all of this. So just by looking at the framing to influence the perception of the audience...
Back. Okay, we're going back.
You'll hear me speak on the record for the first time about all of this. So just by looking at the thumbnail, I can immediately tell that Nicholas Diorio is going to be as honest and objective as possible. By giving me additional hair and enhancing the shadows on my forehead to make me look as creepy as possible. It's not like this is an example of visual manipulation and deceptive framing to influence the perception of the audience that all of these drama tubers are known to use. It's clearly an
Okay.
accurate representation of empirical truth and reality, especially given that Nicholas Diorio originally had no criticism when I first showed him the Charlie video. And then once
he said there's not much I can critique
given that Nicholas Diorio...
I'm kind of confused if this is the trailer or something. There's not much I can critique here. If your point is that celebrity drama / gossip gets a shit ton of views and serious stories lacking the same level of exposure often get pushed to the wayside, I'm in agreement there. But that extends further than this platform. Blah, 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 blah.
Originally had no criticism when I first showed him the Charlie video. And then once he saw the backlash, he changed his mind to have a few light criticisms. And then after Mudahar recruited him to be his lapdog in the defamation campaign, he took a complete 180 and did everything in his power to make me look as horrible as possible, literally creating a video called "This Video Will Make You Hate MamaMax." It's not like he lied to my face saying he's going to keep everything between us and then subsequently leaking our DMs and private conversations.
Ooh. It's not the first time.
Without our consent, by the way, to get a head start on the narrative so that way I can't respond without everyone immediately think I'm lying about everything. Jim, I'm glad you got a platform to speak your truth that was worm-tongued into you by Ryan, who no longer wanted to be associated with his best friend that was getting canceled. Yet the survivors and I have yet to be platformed by any of these people. Some of which
survivors and I, oh, womp womp, stop crying.
Denied us a platform, despite the fact that we are direct sources of information for our side of the story. It's
Okay? Make your own fucking video. Just put something out there. This is Max's fucking problem. He feels like everyone's being mean to him because they're not platforming him and the victims and whatever. So, okay, before you ask for a platform, put something out. You spent like a year. You spent like a year trying to put, like, cobble this together. Over a year. Me. Over a year trying to put this together. You put nothing out there.
It's almost like this was an orchestrated attempt to keep us silent and only platform each other. What? No, that's not an echo chamber. That's a beacon of truth. And then anyone that...
Okay, well, they just had like a call where they talked about the leaked call, and that was like an echo chamber. Oh, there's some good fucking criticism in here, I think. Or potentially good criticisms, but he's fucking losing me.
Was asking critical questions of them or showing support to me or the survivors were getting doxxed and harassed for having a different opinion than what cancel culture would allow for.
Cancel
anyone
culture?
that was asking critical questions of them or showing support to me or the survivors were getting doxxed and harassed for having a different opinion than what cancel culture would allow for. So yeah, that's really great, Jim. What he did to me...
What? Okay, can you show evidence of that happening? Because all you've got is Xylee gets real, having like a Twitter back and forth with somebody.
In comparison to the damage he has caused to the women he allegedly abused and the victims of CSA that he's failed through his own narcissism and unchecked megalomania. I and my friends that you destroyed are moving on. The damage is done, but the healing has begun. Out of the darkness, we can all find light. Jim. So, you all may be wondering, do I have any proof to my side of the story?
Well,
you know, I really wish that was something you guys would ask of them. They have failed to provide any evidence that I...
What? Weren't you fucking complaining? What? There's like first-hand testimony, there's leaked DMs, there's leaked calls, there's Fucking hell.
Did all of this, and yet everyone believes them. And now the burden of proof is on me
Challenge
that
the claims,
I did not
then.
do these things, which is actually impossible. How do you prove you did not do something?
Just challenge them.
But I will show you what I do have.
Okay.
So this is my Discord correspondence with Ryan. He deleted all of his messages. I think because he knew I was going to expose him one day. There were many times he would talk shit about Jim. Even videos where he would make fun of Jim. He deleted all of them. But I mean, feel free to read through my own messages. I looked up to Ryan like he was my older brother and always came to him for advice. Yeah, I think he doesn't want y'all to know that, since it contradicts his disavowing of me. Unfortunately for Ryan.
Why would you delete your DMs? Why would you delete your DMs with them? Because you then leave, I mean, hopefully Nexpo fucking archived them before that. If that's the case with all his communications. I don't know. I don't know about that. I don't know about that. If that is the case, right? Okay, there's two ways this can be like easily addressed. If he's got an archive of it and he can show them, cool. Or if he can prove that all of his fucking DMs are redacted, cool. But on its own, without those qualifiers, that is suspicious.
You cannot delete messages from group chats that you've already left. Sorry, Nick, but you're gonna get caught in the crossfire. You can blame Muda and Ryan for making me do this. So I believe this was regarding Creator Clash. LOL. Do you not want to go?
Wait, what?
I believe this was regarding...
Nathan Barnett says, if you want to go to the boxing event, I can get you VIP tickets and we can hang backstage at the Creator Lounge. Tons of YouTubers are going.
Creator Clash. LOL. Do you not want to go? I thought that was for the call tomorrow. Is that what I said, idiot? You just fucking laughed, loser. I laugh at your lack of intelligence. You know who lacks intelligence? James, I'm gonna groom the shit out of you, Bagel, with Nightcox Media.
Okay, to be fair, okay, bring it down. It doesn't mean that he originated the claims. This is consistent with what he said, that they believed Max and just moved away from him, right? That they believed Max and just kind of moved away from him. So that doesn't prove anything. All it proves is that Nexpo believed them and would joke about them in public.
Night Docs banned a girl that we knew. He found out she was taken. So Ryan is implying that Jim only wanted single girls in his Discord server.
Huh?
Stop. Bro, what is the context behind this? No one knows. What the fuck, lol? The Jim lore is always expanding, I swear. Can't wait for his redemption arc. Jim when kitten logs into Discord.
Jesus Christ!
Is this Jim? Is this Jim?
Hi everyone, so I just wanted to hop on here real quick and tell you
Okay.
that I am actually breaking up with Jason.
No.
What do you mean no?
I know.
Yes.
I know.
Jason.
Would you guys still be down to do part of the iceberg? I'm gonna pick it up next month after I get a few more vids done. I heard Night Dix is down for the part with young girls. Go suck his cock? Yes, that's all I do, to be honest. VidCon? Fell off? Huh? The fuck? I'm sick of you guys treating me like shit. Gonna start a new friend group with Jim. He made both of you, to be honest. Dude, you fell off. Damn it, is that a Jim moment? Bro, did you collab with him Pagel of Night Doc? Famous Webby-nominated YouTuber? Yeah, it was a Night Doc's media production. He really went to bat for me this time. That's deep. Wanna hear something even more deep and heartbreaking? When I'm with you guys, I feel like I'm the low man on the totem pole. Bro, are you serious, dude? Come on, man. Shit, I feel bad, dude. If it makes you feel better, man, your content's trash and you fell off. But dude, you shouldn't feel that way. Honestly, man, I do. I know my content is far superior, but it's just the algorithm, man. Dude, just keep trying, bro. Maybe you'll hit the algorithm in 2047. LOL. Pathetic. Yo, what the fuck? How the fuck are you two going to turn me into a gym like this? Yo, what the fuck? So just for context, this is a group chat. Glink invited Ryan and Jim too. And Ryan would often make fun of Jim for wanting to go to events that we were invited to. Let's play a game. Spot the Jim. Lamau.
Okay, so these are friends who used to be these are people who used to be friends with him, I guess. What? This doesn't really prove anything, to be fair. This is like, ooh, kind of saucy, and like, wow, they were really mean to him, but like, yeah, they were kind of mean about him, I guess. Maybe they did a little bit more than like push these allegations or tell them to other people, but it was like an in-joke with people, I guess. It shows they've been shows they've been quite nasty, but other than that, it feels like high school shit.
You inconvenience me consistently.
I mean, at least it shows that it was not okay. It could still be the case that Max started these rumors. Okay, that's contested between both sides. It could still be that Max is the one who's responsible for these rumors, but everyone else seemed to play into them, and like at the very least, kind of, fuel the fire.
In other words, when we make a podcast, you tell me, slut. Whenever you're ready, we brainstorm names. We include Nick and Jim. Fuck no.
How is Mutahar going to respond to this? He has cut ties with the Digorio. I'm fairly sure he already has, no?
Can't have me without Jim. Podcast when? Finally got a name. The Night Docs Media Podcast, a subsidiary of Night Docs Media Incorporated, LLC, 2022. Fuck both of you seeing Night Docs Media live. Got any friends that might want random shit from my place? I got the couches, 2 beds, a lazy boy chair, 2 desks, office chair, 2 dressers, shelves, etc. Jim. I believe this was right after Jim's house caught fire, by the way. Write that shit down, that's the funniest thing you've ever said. I hope you continue to use it for years to come. I'm sorry I let you down. Lamau. Bro, what is the context behind this? Random DM last night. He's with Oki right now. Oki was asking me about Jim when we met him in LA. WTF, wait, this is for real? I told him we parted ways but didn't delve into detail. 100%. It's real. So I'm assuming they talked about it. Did y'all get invited? I believe this was the invite for Lightwave. Yes,
okay.
Going. I think Jim might be there. LMFAO, typical. I'll ask. Tell him the fucking deal straight. We don't mesh anymore, my mans. I'll let them know. Boys, we merch trading at VidCon? What size shirt you wear, bitch, Muda? Large? Gonna make you a walking advertisement like Jim did.
So I'm no longer Nexpo. I'm officially Night Docs. I'm a walking advertisement. So is Max. Hey, do you feel like you're being used, man? Because you're walking ad.
So I believe this was a text message from Nick to Ryan.
I mean, that's not that nasty. Does it feel like to anyone else he's just like throwing shit at the wall to see what sticks? Yeah, it's just banter. It feels like he's throwing everything at the wall to see what sticks, which kind of makes me doubt the validity of the previous ones. Is there context that is maybe dispositive? Because I guess the assumption when I saw that is that he's including it because, wow, look at this. How nasty and how awful is this? But then he's just showing this, which sounds like it's just a joke. So, is the context actually malicious?
I was right, man. Jim's making a statement. Shut the fuck up. What we do? Trying to get a coffee or what? So you can see here, Ryan was always very concerned about Jim speaking up. Holy shit, boys. Anyone see Jim's story? Deleted Instagram off my phone, what'd it say? Showed this tweet with a sappy message. Love it when someone decides that not only are they not your friend anymore, but they poison the well for everyone else you were friends with. Sounds familiar. I think I know who he's talking about. I'm telling you, dude, he thinks everything is 100% me, I know it. It is. So I'm half joking here. Clearly, we are all accountable for shit-talking Night Docs.
Okay.
But up until Mudahar was involved, Ryan was the most vocal about Jim. Fuck you. I need to talk to you, please. Bro, stop. Photoshop.
And what year is this? 2022.
I need to talk to you, please. Bro, stop. Photoshopped. LMFAO. You gonna talk to him? No, I don't think I will. So I believe this was during Pick Aside YouTube. Jim was fighting off the commentary channels. You sure do know how to win a man's heart. Always with you, dude. He reached out to me so many fucking times and you said not to reply and that you had him blocked. So I don't remember ever saying this. So a few months before, I asked Ryan if we should block him, and he told me yes. So I actually didn't tell him to block Jim, I was just asking if we should. But I didn't want to block Jim because I felt he was owed an explanation from the both of us.
No. Unless I see a fucking DM for that.
Should. But I didn't. So I actually didn't tell him.
He unfollowed me, lol. So Max does this, okay? Next post says, he unfollowed me, lol. Max says, are you serious, love and foul? Should we full on block him then? Yes, lol. Okay, and then you don't say, okay, I'm joking, that's a little bit too far.
To block Jim, I was just asking if we should. But I didn't want to block Jim because I felt he was owed an explanation.
That's not what you said.
From the both of us. But whatever. Now he 100% thinks I'm the one talking shit about him pulling the strings here. I can talk to him about it if you want. Or we can. Or just not say anything more.
Okay. Now he 100% thinks I'm the one talking shit about him, pulling the strings here. So that seems to be an implicit denial there, no?
I don't know. Up to you. That put me in a shitty spot and now I look like a fucking asshole. I'm sorry, man, I didn't even think about that. We should talk to him together then. Shut up. Kill yourself. Why do everyone in Squid Game look the same?
So it seems like there's an implicit denial there that he's the person chatting shit and making stuff up against him. Because just because he's the one that's, going with these allegations, running with it, making all these nasty jokes, there is always this type of person who tries to, in every fucking friendship group this happens, right? In every fucking friendship group. Somebody hears the allegations made by somebody else has started the rumors, but they're the one who carries the bandwagon.
Yeah. Something to note about YouTubers. They spread a lot of rumors, they love to gossip.
That's true.
And they love to appear like they don't. But they most certainly do. Keep
Including
in mind,
you.
This is only what I have saved. There was a lot more in my DMs with Ryan, and it was much worse in person. It's also pretty interesting that Ryan has privated all of his Cringe Kitchen episodes with me and Jim. And if you go to the ones that are still public, you will notice his audience thinks it's because of my involvement. But all of his videos with me are still public. I think he might be trying to hide some things in those videos that could verify what I am saying.
So actually I'm going to be joined by MamaMax and Night Docs. Let's get some music going!
MamaMax pedos or children videos was Christmas 2021. Okay.
And Night Docs knows I'm not the type to talk at like parties. I'm a pretty quiet guy.
Okay.
MamaMax and Night Docs do live together. Yeah, he's actually upstairs right now, working on.
Go back to the messages. Which part? MamaMax pedos. Oh, pedos or children. Pick a side. Yeah. That was 2021. Right. And why is that relevant? Yeah, go on. Pop in. Here she is. How's it going, Abby?
Hey, can you hear me?
Yeah,
Can you hear
perfectly.
me? Okay, so he's trying to say that all of this is like Night Dog or Nexpo doing all this, but children versus the pedophiles thing, or pick a side, YouTube is a better one. It's like, oh yeah, everybody was going at him because of like pretty much Night Docs was the one defending Mama Max's video because he still thought they were friends. And that was the same time that Tommy C was like, these aren't your friends, these aren't your friends, these aren't your friends, because Mama Max wasn't saying anything or anything of value.
Yeah.
And so so in those messages he's like, oh well, he said in that video, oh well, everybody's coming at Night Docs at the time. And really, like, Nexpo was also in that video very heavily.
Yeah.
So he's just trying to make up the narrative that's just not there.
Right. So they were still associated at that time. This is way before the breakup.
It seems like, but I gotta think about when all the girlfriend video came out. But I know for sure that like Night Docs would have just been blindly defending Mama Max. If all this is true that they weren't talking, is just super weird. But Nexpo was also heavily in that video, and so I'm confused, but I was just trying to tell you timeline, so it doesn't make any sense to me why he's mad at why he's saying all this about Night Docs. It actually follows more that Mama Max was actually heavily involved in criticizing Night Docs as well.
Yeah, which he doesn't seem to be taking accountability for. If you can find more
At
stuff
all.
to piece the timeline together, like inconsistencies, I'd be interested to see that. If you send me a DM about that.
Yeah, I mean, other than the fact that like I've talked to like a girlfriend that lived with Night Docs at the time, and Mama Max, and I remember her saying that like Mama Max just talked crap about like literally everyone, like anyone and everyone that they worked with. So I don't believe him when he says that he wasn't talking shit about anyone.
Right. Okay. That's interesting. Are
If
those
I have
private
any other
conversations,
things, I
or are
can-
they public?
I would have to go look through like my old phone
Yeah,
see if
fair
I
play.
have any of those.
Yeah, that'd be interesting. If you can find
Okay,
those,
man.
those would be super interesting to see. But yeah, anyway, I'll get back to the video. I appreciate it though.
Yeah, no problem.
Cheers. Chat to you later. Interesting. Okay, because he definitely seems to be downplaying his involvement in the allegations quite heavily.
They spread a lot of rumors. They love to gossip. And they love to appear
Not
like
we.
they don't.
I mean, even the phrasing there, YouTubers, they love to spread a lot of gossip. From what everyone's saying, you're involved in that as well, even from your own text conversations.
But they most certainly do. Keep in mind, this is only what I have saved. There was a lot more in my DMs with Ryan, and it was much worse in person. It's also pretty interesting that Ryan has privated all of his Cringe Kitchen episodes with me and Jim.
Okay.
MamaMax and Night Docs do live together. Yeah, he's actually upstairs right now, working on. I think he's working on his next video right now. You know, he'll be standing there. He might not be saying much, and then you hand him a camera, and things just start happening, and it's really cool.
But people who love to get drunk and run their mouths, that is Nexpo and Mutahar. Luckily for Mutahar, I don't have any evidence of him calling Jim a predator. He mostly did that in person when he was drunk, but from my memory, he was very vocal about gossiping, not just about Jim, but pretty much every other creator that thought they were his friend.
Muda is a wonderful, wonderful human being. You guys have, like, he is exactly like you see on his videos. Like, he's just so full of energy. He's got like
But there's no evidence of that.
the quickest wit I've ever seen. It's so hard to keep up. Like I generally have a lot to say about everything in general, but I got nothing on Muda. Muda's got a really hot take on just about everything.
There's so many YouTubers that can substantiate this, like Nick Crowley.
Nick, what the fuck are we watching? Bro, I need you to tell me, man. Max, what are we watching, dude?
Trust me, just watch.
What's the relevancy of this footage? This just seems to be like tugging on emotional heartstrings or being like, oh look, we were all friends. Like,
Shut up, Nexpo.
I don't even know what I'm doing here.
so what, this is supposed to prove that what Mutahar was talking shit about loads of people behind the scenes.
But he's probably going to defend himself and his friends. But that's okay, because there's one witness who is brave enough to speak up today.
Ooh.
Hi, I go by Prox. I'm here to provide a new perspective on the relationship.
Who's this guy?
Who is brave enough to speak up today.
Hi, I go by Prox.
Okay.
I'm here to provide a new perspective on the relationship between Max, Ryan, Muda, Nick Crowley, myself, and Jim. Specifically as a witness as it pertains to the allegations from Ryan and Mutahar that Max destroyed Jim's character. Before I get into the main topic, I want to give context on who I am and why my perspective is important.
Were you even in the fucking group chats? I've never heard of this guy before.
Involved with these guys for over 5 years, and I have first-hand experience with many of the people and events I'm going to talk about. Here's a brief rundown of the projects I've been a part of. On April 27th, 2020, I was a part of Ryan's project called Ben Drowns Again. On July 15th, 2021, I was part of Ryan's Walton Files analysis.
But the person filming this can be heard in the background, saying the following.
So, on June 24th, 2022, I was a part of Ryan's project, The Darkest Half-Life mod, which you won't find without the Wayback Machine.
A strange temptation awaits him.
I really need to take these pills. This channel used to be called Nexpo After Hours and was publicly available. Uploaded on May 1st, 2022, I was a part of a video with Ryan and Nick called Meeting Dream at 3 a.m.
Can I kiss you? I mean, can I stick your hand on me? Can I flush you on me? Mr. Dream. Oh my god.
This was only a tiny fraction of the stupid shit we'd do at Max's place at the time.
Okay.
On January 18th, 2022, I was in Muda's video titled A Lot Happened This Weekend.
Like Friday night, Ryan came over, Prox, and Max came over, and we just kind of like had a good time.
On July 29th, 2022, I was a part of Muda's video titled The YouTube Disaster You've Never Heard Of. I wish I was never part of this mostly negative video at all.
And shout out to Prox, by the way.
On April 7th, 2021, I was part of Jim's video titled This Video Can Physically Attack You. I've never been a part of any project that was specifically for Nick Crowley, though we did hang out a lot behind the scenes for various other projects like for Max, Ryan, and etc. And I've helped Max with almost all of his post-2020 content. On July 13th, 2021, I uploaded...
You've helped out Max with all of his post-2020 content. So it sounds like this guy predominantly, he's got his success by being involved in other creators' videos. And he's deeply associated with Max, I guess. More than, it sounds like the other people. This sounds like this is Max's friend, who also kind of got in on the friendship group through Max.
The video titled Raising Cane's Chicken Is Not What It Seems documentary, featuring Nexpo, MamaMax, Some Ordinary Gamers, Nick Crowley, Night Docs, and so on. Now that I've established my history with these guys, let me start from the beginning.
Okay.
The story begins for me around August of 2019 when I first met Max. This was shortly after he released his video covering Kanye Quest. Ryan would notice the video and collaborate with Max on the same topic a couple months later. It was around this time.
Right. This is sounding what I was thinking about. This sounds like he's predominantly friends with these guys through Max, rather than being apart from Max, but okay.
In early 2020, that Max and Ryan would become good friends. Max messaged me about a new collaborative project he was going to be a part of that Nexpo was filming, which wasn't too far from me. I believe it was the night of April 25th that I drove over to Jim's house and met Ryan and Jim for the first time, where we also pranked Max before he showed up.
Which question?
How do you feel about the health crisis?
Yeah.
Filming for this project, which ended up being Ben Drowns Again.
Look it, it's Nexpo. It's Nexpo from YouTube.
Was fun and went smoothly. Most of the time. Ryan was arguably taking this project more seriously than anything he's done before. He gathered several creators together to film a real-life storyline of sorts. Therefore, when Jim tried to share ideas with Ryan, on and off set, whether it's an extra scene there, a drone shot there, etc., the response from Ryan ranged from warm reception to downright frustration. Not too long after the project started, Ryan would voice his frustrations to the rest of us without Jim being present. A good example would be when Jim would fly his drone over the woods decently far away to get some B-roll, before almost entirely losing his drone and panicking about it for the next hour. This was a detour that caused another delay. In retrospect, though, most of what Jim did wasn't like this at all. Jim's a bit of a clumsy guy who makes mistakes. I mean, who doesn't? But overall, I argue that most of what Ryan was complaining about boiled down to Jim's mostly harmless suggestions and criticisms to him, which Ryan just couldn't bother to be more patient about, regardless of, again, how much of an asset Jim was to the project. Behind the scenes on this project was the beginning of a long era for Ryan as we knew him personally, one that was fueled by contempt for Jim. You can absolutely bet that Ryan had a list of complaints after every one of these videos, which he of course started to only
okay. Wait, so he didn't like him, okay.
Share with Max and I, since this was a continued outlet for venting his frustrations about working with Jim. You know, forget the fact that Ryan and Jim have a longer history together than any of us. Forget the fact that Jim sourced an important location and actor for the film, along with being one himself. Also, forget the fact that Jim made an entire score just for this video. Despite how useful Jim was to this project, Ryan just wasn't having it. Ryan's lack of consideration for Jim would only get worse from here. After filming for Ben Drowns Again concluded, Neff and his partner went home and it was down to the four of us for the rest of 2020. Max started living with Jim for a few months and we would all continue to regularly collaborate, with videos like Strange Flyers around Portland, Oregon, the Randonautica video, the Rabbit Hole video, the Cringe Kitchen episodes, which all featured Night Docs at this point. I mean, they were literally filmed at his house. And oh yeah, the Kids Chat video, where all of them, including Muda, collaborated and made their own video. Very interesting. What I was mainly up to around this time was just hanging out.
Very interesting.
With everyone off set. We'd go to restaurants, bars, stuff like that.
Are you enjoying your Coke?
It's a Pepsi.
I thought this was to do with like Muzahar liking to talk shit and slander people.
Except for one time at the bar we frequented, Jim made a surprise inappropriate comment to me involving our waitress at the time, as he's done on multiple occasions. Though this moment was ultimately harmless, it did bring up a discussion among the rest of us about this behavior. Max has stories of Jim flirting with waitresses. So does Ryan. So, much later, when Ryan says this...
Another story that led to more of Max believing Jim to be, I guess, a creep, and it involved one trip to a restaurant that he and Jim had way back when Max was living with Jim. Apparently Jim was, making moves on the waitress and, continuously hitting on her, and he just wouldn't stop.
He is insinuating that Max is the only one with stories like this, and that Max was the only one who thought that Jim was acting...
Are you gonna actually, when are we talking about, whether you, were a totally wretched retard about the fucking Camden Gerard Davis shit? And, whether you actually did anything at all? We've, skipped over the fucking Charlie video in, 2 seconds. But, yeah, okay.
Appropriate toward waitresses. Already in...
It doesn't seem like this video is going to exonerate Muzahar at all. But... might learn some interesting details about these other huge content creators. Let's see. Okay.
Just this instance of this video, Ryan is either intentionally deceiving everyone by staying vague and manipulating facts, or after all these years, he's just turned into an idiot baby that genuinely forgot everything. However, when 2020 was starting to end and Max moved out of Jim's place, an evolution happened. Instead of complaining about Jim's behavior, why don't we just make fun of him? All the time. A group gossip tradition of sorts, spearheaded by Ryan, since, from what I remember, making fun of Jim would be more than half of the things he's ever said around me.
I'll do another one. I don't mean to be a Jim, but...
No, dude, go ahead. Ryan would come over when Max and I were hanging out at his new apartment, busting in and saying shit like, "Yo, is this Nightcock's media production by Jim fucking Pagel? I'm gonna groom the shit out of you." Out of the...
Okay, so... When did they split up, okay? When did they split up? Is this before or after? When did this... Okay. Did this occur before or after these allegations and the eventual fallout? And even if they did, what's the point of this? If I really don't like somebody, Aiden, for example, I can't fucking stand this Aiden kid, right? If I then find out from somebody else that he's been noncing kids and stuff, I mean, I'm not happy that it happened, right? I'm not happy that, a child was groomed. But, yes! Now I've got a reason to hate him,
In darkness, we can all find light.
Well, if he's saying, actually, that the jokes revolved around Jim Pagel, grooming kids, it sounds like this was afterwards.
Would also make fun of his videos. One example that I remember Ryan religiously making fun of was Jim's new character at the time, Noctis. He made this character because in the Rabbit Hole video prior, Ryan donned his rabbit persona, and it was clear that this character was in a group with Max and Jim. So Jim probably thought, hey, I should make a cool character of my own. However, he was already fighting a losing battle, because the whole character thing was only cool when Ryan and Max did it. He also made fun of this. I
don't play by the rules.
Damn it. He also made fun of this.
Okay.
It's next up. I hope you're doing alright, man. I haven't heard from you in a while. I'm not worried about you.
And so many more.
Moose's vid said Nexpo knew the most about the claims at the time. Is that... Okay, can you let me something?
What am I doing?
I agree, brother. What are we doing?
You see, Ryan may look like a calm, calculated, and almost mysterious individual on camera. Off camera, however, he's a huge shit talker. He's also very impatient and quite condescending. In fact, just about every conversation I've seen Ryan in, he's always in the center of it with the loudest voice and the funniest jokes. A big ego only trumped by one other guy I know. Ryan's college jock bro behavior would only be compounded with the introduction of Nick Crowley to
Don't worry about clipping, just send me a timestamp.
group in March of 2021. Not because Nick was particularly brutal to Jim or anything, he was always very toned back about it compared to what Ryan would spit out daily. And he was a bit late to the Jim lore, but because Nick was involved with the boys now, and there's another cool bro in the group, meaning Ryan has another cool bro friend to boast to, wait, what if we replaced Jim? And yeah, that's exactly what happened. Ryan's been...
So this just seems like a complete theory. What? Is this guy alleging that he, kicked out Night Dogs not because of these allegations that were swirling around, but because he didn't like him already, and there was another guy who joined the friendship group who was also like a dude bro, and so he decided to push allegations that he was a child molester, to push him out and get the friend in, because the friendship only had room for one of them. He was around at the same time. I mean, yeah, this sounds like just this guy's opinion.
Been wanting to cut Jim out for a long time, and he took this as the perfect opportunity. As of March 2021, this is the last month I can find collaborations with Jim and the rest of the group. And then there's my video, which appears to be the actual last one, however, it was also filmed in March. It wasn't just some big coincidence that Jim didn't appear in our videos anymore, it was indicative of what was happening behind the scenes. Meanwhile, the rest of us continued with collaborations, hangouts, and all the usual stuff with nothing notable until January of 2022 when we met up with Muda in Houston. This is where I met him and Jen for the first time in person. At this point, Muda was becoming much more involved with the group, or more specifically, Ryan. Nothing too notable, except for Ryan, who wanted me to tell my Jim waitress story to Muda and Jen personally. And by this point, it wasn't uncommon for him to encourage others into talking.
Hold on.
My Jim waitress group, or more specifically, Ryan. Nothing too notable, except for Ryan, who wanted me to tell my Jim waitress story to Muda and Jen personally. And by this point...
So you'd already told other people by this point. Okay.
It wasn't uncommon for him to encourage others into talking about their own experiences with Jim. Why? You should ask Ryan. At this point, though, Jim wasn't just gone, he was still trying to keep touch, which we didn't, and he was rightfully upset about this. We took his kindness for granted, we slowly phased him out, and
what did you do at the time, then? Did you say anything about this at the time? It seems like Max was more than happy to fucking get his digs in.
Dumped him into the fearless leader of the boys, the ultimate Jim.
I mean, there's also no fucking there's also no logs being shown for any of this. This is just this guy saying stuff. And the difficult thing is when it's one side opposing another. If they're claiming that the other is lying, until one side shows proof, it's he said, she said. I mean, we'll wait to see if these guys deny it, but their insinuation has already been quite the opposite.
Aficionado himself was happier about this than anyone. If the other guys in the group were forced to tell you the truth, they would tell you something similar. So, that's what happened to Jim. In conclusion, there's a lot more I want to say, but I also wanted to keep this testimony brief. I don't know who exactly spread rumors that Jim is a predator that abuses his kids, because I wasn't at VidCon 2022 where these rumors started. I can only tell you what I've personally witnessed, which seems to be the opposite of the picture Ryan and Muda want to paint. They pinned this on the one guy who still wanted to maintain contact with Jim at this point. There's something clearly wrong with the mainstream narrative. Based on everything we've just covered, I'll let you be the judge. Jim deserves to know the truth, and he's long overdue for an apology. Jim, I'm deeply sorry for the way I treated you, and how we all treated you. You deserve better.
Well, it seems like now you're coming out and saying that. Now the entire, public fucking narrative has changed about the guy. You were very happy to, feed into these allegations and, this kind of gossip at the time.
Friends.
All right, we're rolling.
Okay, so I'm going to say go this time. I'm probably going to be, past the card barely, and I'm going to run slower. Okay. So I'll be a bit easier to catch up and all that stuff. All right, I'm going to go now. All right, go.
Wow, they were such good friends. Look at them, laughing about and, having fun together. They were such good friends.
Jim, I am so sorry all of this happened to you. There's so much more I need to say. I'm down to talk if you're up for it. I miss you, man, and I hope you can walk away from all of this stronger than ever. And no matter how much fire you come under, remember that you're Jim fucking Pagel. Bulletproof.
You fucking engaged in this too, you little dipshit. Okay.
So Max, how does it feel to have Leviathans come for you? Not good, I assume. I mean, you did end up being revealed to be a backstabbing manipulator who betrayed his friends and fans. We all know what you did to Night Dogs, Maxie boy, and we do not forget. I understand why you feel this way, given all the videos you must have watched about me. But I hope hearing my side can show you that the truth is.
Let's
in
see if we've
all
got
the
any
videos you must have watched.
recognized faces. Okay, Jeffrey Epstein. There's Nicholas Diorio with his knee on his neck. There's Max there. There's Chud Logic. What are we going to do about this, Chud Logic? There's Comedy Shorts Gamer, who looks like Camden Gerard Davis. There's Muzahar. There's the fat woman. Oh, is that Red Pagan? Oh, is that Red Pagan? Okay. This is the completionist, I think. There's a picture of Max and MLK. Okay.
Watched about me. But I hope hearing my side can show you that the truth is a little more complicated than what YouTubers might make it seem.
Ryan? Sure. So, what do you want to say, man? Fucking love you, dude.
I know. Bye.
Bye.
Hey Max, longtime fan here. I was wondering quite a few things, actually. Firstly, what is this story I keep hearing about Night Docs and your allegations against him? If you did tell people he was a predator, then Nicholas Diorio is correct in that this situation means two things. You either protected a predator through years of silence, or you lied, attempting to destroy a YouTuber's career. What actually happened there? I don't think Night Docs is a predator. We've made jokes in our friend group. I wouldn't call it predatory, but I would not call it... I would rather respect his privacy. Secondly, what's with suing your supposed friend Mutahar for $1 million, telling the victim that he's rich and so seeking $1 million would help with the case?
I basically realized that this person wants to effectively sue me for a large chunk of money, okay? An obscene amount of money. Why? Because to me, all this appears is all I ever was to this man was an extremely rich friend who had enough social media clout for him to piggyback his stupid case off of.
My stupid case. So yeah,
it is a stupid case.
Thought he was my friend too, until I saw the things he was doing.
And immediately he initiated sex.
Okay. At the time,
Nick?
Just so everyone is clear on this, Mutahar digital.
I'm sorry, I need a second. I'm gonna get fucking clipped. I need to chill out. Okay. It's funny because the way she describes it, and also due to the fact that Spencer is not very credible, okay? Spencer is not very credible. And so when she describes something like that, she immediately had sex.
Case off of.
My stupid case. So yeah, I thought he was my friend too, until I saw the things he was doing.
And immediately he initiated sex.
Okay. At the time,
Nick?
Fuck, why am I laughing again? Fuck it.
Just so everyone is clear on this, Mutahar digitally signed a non-disclosure agreement to protect the...
No, Max, don't do this. Max, oh my god. I almost forgot who made this video, dude. Sorry, go ahead.
Identities, testimonies, and evidence of the survivors, and was only allowed to release it with their consent. And then he breached that agreement multiple times.
Okay, I just got confirmation. Mutahar just fucking DM'd me.
Especially when there's...
Mutahar just DM'd me, saying that there's not even proof confirming that there's even evidence. I thought he was bullshitting about the...
That's not revealing anything about those people's story. That's a claim that there is no evidence. That's not revealing details of what's in the server.
NDA. If Mutahar actually did...
Non-disclosure agreement. He's saying there's nothing to disclose, little bro. He's saying there's nothing to disclose.
Have to sign an NDA to see the information. He broke that NDA with me because he told me my DMs.
No, he didn't.
The evidence is.
Keep in mind, Mutahar did not talk to any of the survivors when he was leaking this information, and he is the very reason why people were not taking the evidence seriously.
He's not sharing the information. Okay, fuck. If you want to go for it, Sir, I guess. You're standing by the fucking the NDA. Okay.
What is the supernatural here? Like, let's just try to understand that.
Did you hear any of the lore?
But then, after he talks to the survivors, and they walk him through the evidence, now it is all of a sudden one of the most serious of cases.
That's what he said in his own stuff. To be fair, like sure, like everyone's laughing there, and you might hear him chuckling because everyone else is laughing. But didn't Nick sign the NDA on the back of a napkin? I believe it was on the back of a PlayStation bit of PlayStation packaging or whatever. He just like wrote his name on it.
Evidence like appears, at least it feels like there's definitely like a bad it's like the worst I can see is somebody taking advantage of people, like emotionally, sexually, physically. Looking at this whole story and talking to people that were actually affected by it, I think that there was like really there was illegal shit that happened, right? Look, there are real
Okay.
I can see is somebody taking advantage of people, like emotionally, sexually, physically. Looking
Yes. So he's saying the worst I can see is somebody taking advantage of somebody sexually, emotionally, physically. That is illegal. Taking advantage of someone sexually is illegal. Yeah.
Looking at this whole story and talking to people that were actually affected by it, I think that there was like really there was illegal shit that happened, right? Look, there are real people that I believe have been hurt by this, and for that considering, I am giving my full support as much as I can.
Yeah.
Speaking with more of the victims after this call myself, I feel very disgusted.
Isn't an oral NDA still legally binding? Depends on the state.
Hearing any more about the situation and the things that have been alleged to go behind it, which is why I'm doing my due diligence to at least try and help these victims out, but privately, not a public spectacle like Max's.
In some states, a verbal contract isn't binding. If you're in the state of New York, I know it's binding there. I think in California it might be. I mean, it's going to massively depend. I don't know what state Max is in.
I think I'm just gonna take
Mutah's in Canada though. Mutah's in Canada, so I'm not sure.
the day off today and get on the stream with you boys.
Yeah, I know. I didn't want to burn you because I've asked you so much already. But
no,
I'm
man.
happy to have you.
Good to work with you.
Also, let's not forget the NDA that Max wrote up may not even be legally binding because he gets his legal advice from ChatGPT. So who knows?
This whole thing has been so fucking insane, bro. I'm so glad that call came out. Ever since she made that like post on her Discord, it's like this call will make him look bad.
That's why I made it the thumbnail, dude. I just wanted that to be the first thing people see.
I literally like the moment I saw that, I was like, dude, I'll just fast track her it up and just release this fucking thing myself.
So just to make sure we're all on the same page, Mutahar was verifiably defaming me, the survivors, and this case with these.
Was he verifiably defaming? Whoa. So he knew that what he was saying was false at the time he was saying it. Okay.
Public statements he made both before and after signing a non-disclosure agreement.
And I think the NDA stuff is really wild too. It's like, obviously, I think NDAs are like designed to, I feel like it's almost like a way to add some level of credence to this. Like there's some crazy case, like NDAs aren't enforceable in this situation. Like, I mean, I could leak out everything. What's going to happen? You gonna sue me or something?
So what this means is that Mutahar Anas signed an NDA under false pretenses with the intention to release information without the consent.
No. He signed it under false pretenses with the intent. That's not fucking true. That's a wild fucking reach.
Signed an NDA under false pretenses with the intention to release information without the consent of the survivors.
But you're going.
That is not true. That's just not true. It's a huge fucking reach. He's fucked himself there by being so retarded. This took you a fucking year, and you can't even choose your words carefully. He probably believes this, actually. He's just retarded, okay.
Publicly and saying that to everybody else when you haven't spoken to the others. I'm just trying to understand, why would you do that without talking to us?
Which can fall under breach of contract, defamation, negligence, and since this does pertain to a criminal investigation, it could also fall under tampering with...
What? Okay. Alters, destroys, conceals, or removes any record, document, or thing with purpose to impair its veracity or availability, makes or presents or uses any record, document, or thing, knowing it to be false with the purpose of misleading a public servant. Nah. I don't think so. Nah.
Evidence, obstruction of justice.
Obstruction of justice? What fucking justice? What fucking... You haven't even taken this to the police yet, you fucking dickhead. Or has he now? Maybe he's... Oh, okay. He's fucked this. This video is shit.
I've actually been speaking with multiple legal professionals who all seem to think we have a very...
Dear Max, please see the link below to assess your retainer agreement. Kindly complete it at your earliest convenience. In order of your lawyer, blah, 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 blah. So this is from January. This is from 4 months ago. Okay. What's this for?
Very solid case. And given what's happened with Carl Jobs recently, I'm pretty confident that we could sue Mutahar for a lot more than $1 million.
Well, no. Carl Jobs is in Australia, you fucking retard. You retarded cretin. No, the Carl Jobs stuff has got nothing to do... Oh my fucking god, dude. No.
Given the amount of damage he has caused.
If you make a serious fuck up like that, I think not only is removing the video a big problem, but you really got to go onto your main channel and address these situations. If you make a fuck up, especially one where you inadvertently end up slandering somebody, you got to cover for that.
And that money could absolutely help the survivors and this case. He has repeatedly claimed that he would...
Yeah, it's not verification of actually having a lawyer, and it's not verification of them actually thinking that you have a good case. It's just them accepting, well, it's just them saying, okay, if you want to employ us, okay, you can send the retainer of like $10,000 or whatever. He's spoken to multiple lawyers though, guys. He's spoken to multiple lawyers 4 months ago. Okay.
Would provide financial and legal support for the survivors.
I am giving my full support.
He did say this,
He has
didn't
repeatedly claimed that he would provide financial and legal support.
Okay, so we said on the 1st of... Oh no, sorry. American dates. 16th of January last year. If they want to communicate with me, then they can, sometimes next week. I'm only serving as the liaison. Gonna solidify things with my legal team, and until my only avoidment will be covering legal costs for this. My video is not about them. You do know it's about you. I'm not actually covering or bringing undue attention to the criticism they're receiving because of the lack of evidence out. The only survivors I'm talking about anonymously are the ones who've reached out to me. Okay.
For the survivors.
I am giving my full support as much as I can, whether that be emotionally, whether that be helping them liaison with actual law enforcement agents or lawyers, and providing whatever form of financial, benefit that I can, reasonably provide.
Okay. But that has yet to come to fruition, because from what the survivors have told me, Mutahar has not actually provided any financial, legal, or emotional support like he's been publicly claiming.
Well, no, he said it was financial support for the legal process. And maybe that's true. Have they brought any, legal cases against Camden Gerard Davis? I guess, right? Or do you expect him to just give them, $50K before they even file a lawsuit?
At least in the case of Camden Gerard Davis, there is proof. There is evidence of malfeasance. Just because Mutahar said it's nothing substantial doesn't mean it's nothing substantial. He didn't even know what he was looking at. He didn't talk to any of the survivors when he made that comment.
I don't have that proximity to it, but I'm it looks more like an erotic roleplay server where boundaries are really crossed.
An erotic roleplay server where boundaries were really crossed. What does that even mean?
That's what I'm still putting it out as. Max is not an idiot. I think he's smart enough to know it, but he's fuck it, I'll just frame it as a cult.
Just so we're clear, the survivors came to me claiming it was a cult. And after my conversations with...
no, the survivor, your friend's sister, Spencer. Oh!
Actual experts, I do think it is a cult.
I'll make it look more spookier than I can, because his audience is that true crime audience. And I'm going to say it, the true crime audience is the most retarded audience on YouTube. You could fucking feed them the biggest load of bullshit, and 9 times out of 10, they'll believe it.
He was actively undermining the awareness campaign. He was reaching out to historical detractors of the channel and going on live streams with them before talking to me or any of the survivors and talking shit about the case. Here's just one example out of many. Mutahar repeatedly attacked us on the live streams of people who hate me. Perhaps the most vocal among them is Tom.
The police haven't said there was a case, correct? No. I remember there being a police report from something around this that was looked into. The police looked into it.
Tommy C.
I'm going to be just straight up honest with you. I want this child exploiter pinned to a cross. And I think that you're going to see a lot more MamaMax content from me.
The fact that this is the first person Mutahar chooses to speak with about this case should speak volumes about Mutahar's true intentions.
Go look into this guy, MamaMax.
Yeah, because you slandered him as a fucking pedophile. You slandered him as a pedophile. Oh my god. Yeah, threatened by Tommy C. Oh my god. I mean, he's brought up Lyrics, he's brought up Tommy C. Neither of them make cut. Well, okay, Tommy does make commentary content now, still, but
Max's bullshit story.
Exactly. I would never slander Tommy C as a pedophile. I would never slander Tommy C as a pedophile. Absolutely not. If there was a meme video, okay. We've obviously been over this several times, but yeah.
Sorry, Mudahar. I'm angry. I know I'm legitimately angry. And
well, I mean, I'm like I want you to tell me more. I like it's like the anger is good. It's just like fucking you gotta.
I can't think straight.
I am learning.
I am learning from the angry man who just said he can't think straight. No, yeah, the anger is good. It's not like it clouds your judgment and obstructs critical thinking. The anger is good.
I don't know how much of that 4-hour interview you've seen.
Nothing.
That podcast.
He just said he has seen nothing. So Mudahar was learning from an angry man who can't think straight, who constantly spreads disinformation on his targets, who made multiple streams about how I am a scammer, has seen nothing. What?
It's this whole situation.
Can you send him the video he made on me? Can you send Muda the video he made on me that one summer?
Please teach me your ways. Washed Up Commentary Channel number 46,853.
Tommy, that video was not about you. I gave you a 3-minute segment. And rest assured,
you gave him a 3-minute segment. Why?
He watched it. This is the text he sent me after he watched it. I think you put our friend Tommy on suicide watch, bro. Wait, for real? Lol, I saw the first part. LMFAO. If he didn't already, he probably should. And now, all of a sudden, he is pretending to be best friends with Tommy C, someone he constantly talks shit about.
I mean, I've had this discussion with Tommy recently, and actually I would say Tommy C and his call-outs with Max, because I have respect for Tommy C. I've talked to him, and I think if he's going to say something, there's probably some weight to it.
Most of you will have no idea how hilarious this is to hear. But other YouTubers who have heard Mudahar talk about Tommy C behind closed doors will know that he is bullshitting all of you. For example, before we started recording for the Some Ordinary podcast, Mudahar told me not to worry about Tommy C-Nile, because nobody has any respect for him anyway. He has no respect for Tommy C. He has no respect for any other creator. He has zero respect for his own audience.
A lot of people watching YouTube cannot critically think anymore. So when that video came out, and I was like, I'm reading the comments, I'm like, yo, they're eating this shit up. What the and then, like, I make a video and everyone, and then like I make a video and everyone like flips. I'm like, you guys are the worst people. You cannot critically think whatsoever.
To be fair, Queeman did miss a trick with that, okay? Tommy Senile is fucking golden. Tommy Senile is fucking golden, dude. That's so fucking good. That's so fucking good. There's no logs of this, though, I guess.
Ever.
It's not that your audience can't critically think. It's the fact that we have misplaced our trust in you. Furthermore, why did you sleep?
No, bro. Your video is dog shit. You need to accept it was dog shit.
On this Camden Gerard Davis case for 3 years, only to expect multiple influencers to immediately jump on it as soon as you start discussing it?
Yep.
Why tell people to hurry up and discuss it, such as making videos about critical, not immediately responding to you, when you yourself didn't respond about this case for 3 years?
I mean, he seems to have nothing on Mutahar. Mutahar would be the most interesting person to see him go after, because Mutahar is obviously, you know, on a bit of a decline in terms of reputation. But it seems like he's got absolutely nothing on him.
People tell me about allegations all the time. I don't really know what's real and what's not until I actually look into it. Spencer kept messaging me, and once she invited me to the Discord server with the other survivors, that's when I realized...
Wait, Spencer had already... Wait.
Spencer kept messaging me, and once she invited me to the Discord server with the other survivors, that's when I realized, oh shit, this is important. I should have exercised patience, as they have done, but it was just so sad to see...
Patience, yeah, you made them wait for a fucking year.
All of them, they kept trying to tell their story, and no one wanted to listen. And now I'm here, and I'm telling all of my friends, and none of them wanted to listen.
Your involvement would entail a brief 15-minute session, allotting 3 minutes per survivor. A subsequent Q&A is optional.
And no one showed up. Yeah, I was just like, fuck it. I'm gonna launch this case.
Okay.
Into everyone's face.
Wait, there's five fucking people. So there's Spencer and 4 other people. Right? It's in 15 minutes, 3 minutes per survivor. That's 5 people. Spencer's one of them. Okay, so there's 4 other people.
Fake canceling Charlie. And I was praying, I was hoping that he would just sit down and listen to them. And I know the importance of this case and cases like this will only grow as time continues. So maybe one day it will carry the urgency that it deserves. But Mudahar divided all of the survivors and made sure that they didn't talk. And that's really sad.
Huh?
Because many cases like this often only begin after a public awareness campaign.
And when we found out what else was going on behind closed doors, I'm talking crimes ranging from blackmail, forced labor, child trafficking, I was mortified. So I went to the authorities with a band of fellow shocked ex-members and we blew the proverbial whistle. But they didn't do anything. Fell on deaf ears because they didn't know what they were looking at. So we went to the press. Look, Mom and Dad, I'm on the
Go to the press. Go to the New York Times then.
page of the New York Times. It's not exactly what I was imagining my life would be when I started out as an actress, but here we are. After that, the rest is cult history. A dramatic arrest in Mexico, a 6-week trial, 4-hour deliberation, and ultimately, a 120-year prison sentence for Nexium's founder. Yes, thank you. Thank you.
Okay.
Also, why did you lie about certain predators being in police custody, such as Zach Haddad, aka Pablo Sonny, when in reality you didn't know if he was in police custody? I was just dispensing the information that I was given. So just for quick context, Pablo Sonny is a child predator we found on IMVU. He has multiple victims that I made contact with on the platform.
Why is there a cult TED talk in this? I don't fucking know. This is just like a cult that allegedly, you know, they went to the police. The police just didn't manage to do anything with it. They went to the press. I'm guessing there was like investigative reporting on it. Then eventually it ended up getting prosecuted. And Max thinks that that is what he tried to do with his case. Send them to the fucking New York Times then.
And I confirmed
You
that
went
he
to
was
the New
grooming
York
minors
Times,
by a
though, bro.
direct investigation. We verified his face with a specific hand gesture, and his voice can be confirmed by his friends. You can watch the full videos if you want more detail, but here's a paraphrased version of our call.
You know, I'm 14 though. Like, you know, like.
Sorry. Okay.
You know, do you not know like what you're doing? Like, you said you're 24, right?
I want you to know that I know that what I did was wrong, and I'm sorry, and I just like I'm really just begging you, like sincerely, just like you know, you realize I would go to jail. I would go to jail for like 10 years.
But don't I like? I already have your face, like.
I don't know. And I don't want to give you more. Like.
Cause I can already tell my mom right now.
What are you gonna tell her though? You're really gonna do that? Like, why do you want to ruin my life? Like, why? Like, can we just be friends? Like, that's not something that friends do. Like, if we're gonna, do you want to be actually be friends? I was, you know, going through a hard time. Like, there's a lot of shit that I was going through, and you know, I just was lonely, and I, you know, my life is like really hard, and you know, I have to take care. Really scary. Like, I'm gonna get like fucking. I'm like not strong. Like, I'm gonna get fucking like beat up and raped in prison. Like, you want that to happen to me because we talked for one day?
After our videos were released, he was exposed to his local community at the Vancouver music scene, many of which I made contact with. Here are the Instagram messages between me and Zach Haddad's former friend. Hey, I'm making an update video on Zach. Would you like to do an interview for it?
Okay.
Hey man, thanks for the message. Last I heard, he was in police custody. I thought this a fair bit.
Last I heard. So this is hearsay. Okay.
These past few days. I respect your platform and the way you unveiled this information. All of us in the community are still dealing with the weight of it daily, but it gets better only with time. I think I'd rather not do an interview for the video, but would be happy to share my words in written form with you as long as I can remain anonymous. Those closest to me and closest to the situation
So it's hearsay that somebody's not even willing to put their name to, okay?
Know how I feel about it, and I posted my thoughts a little while ago after processing this. I'm happy to contribute my words to the video, but that's as far as I'm willing to be involved for my own comfort level. No worries, man. A written statement will work just as well. Hey, we have not heard anything on Zach Haddad for a couple of months, either from authorities or peers. We are still in contact with his victims wanting to testify against him. Do you know anything that could help us? Hey Max, thanks for reaching out. We haven't heard any updates about him at all since your video in November, and the whole community here has essentially tried to heal and move on healthily. We will continue to condemn his actions and stand with any victims while trying to build a safer scene here, but nobody knows anything new, or even where he is. Here are some Instagram messages between me and his former roommate. Hey, has the police put out a statement? I figure they asked everyone to not work with us, but I want to be sure they're actually doing something. Haven't heard anything yet. Do you or anyone has the contact information of the investigator assigned to the case? We have the hotel Zach is staying at and want to give them the information if they're going to use it. We are trying to leave this off of our hands now as we've done all we can. We're still dealing with the aftermath of his eviction and providing support for the people who are closest to him. We don't have any contact for the investigators. For now, we would like some space as we are also grieving and processing this situation. We also appreciate all the help. Hey, sorry to bother you, but we have not heard anything on Zach Haddad for a couple months, either from authorities or peers. We are still in contact with his victims wanting to testify against him. Do you know anything that could help us? Unfortunately, I don't. Haven't heard from any of his family, and the law enforcement didn't take any action after we all gave statements and offered any evidence in the house. Thank you for your response. Do you know anyone who has contact with him, or know if he's still with his girlfriend when this all happened? Nobody that I know of is in contact with him, and they are not together. And here are some Instagram messages between me and one of his former victims. Hi, I'm a victim of Zach Haddad's grooming and luring of young girls. He did not do this online, but in person while he was 19, 20, and I was 15. Though the intentions of your video seemed harmless, the sensationalizing and dramatizations in the video were unnecessary. I know you have made plenty of money off of this video of yours. I ask that you donate the proceeds to victims of his that need therapy. To keep this AdSense and Patreon money to yourself is selfish and wrong. You do not get to capitalize off of young girls' trauma. I'm terribly sorry to hear that you're a victim of his. You have my gratitude for reaching out. I've been asking some of his ex-friends for a GoFundMe link, but no one has sent me anything yet. But I will happily make a donation. I'd also like to clarify none of my videos are monetized, and I only dramatize the content so that people will start to pay attention, which seems to have worked. Most of my audience are CSA victims, and they have been the ones requesting me to push my content in this direction. So I hope you can.
Oh my god. This is the excuse he uses every time. My audience have all been raped. My audience are all raped as kids like all the time. They're the ones who want me to do this, okay? Are you disagreeing with CSA victims? Are you disagreeing with CSA victims? Oh my god, it is even using it to this person who was actually victimized by this.
I can understand. Thank you for your quick reply.
Allegedly.
If I can help in any way in regards to exposing Zach, let me know. During this time, I went on a few podcasts and explained what was going on based on the information I had. Since this was a developing story, I make it clear that I don't know the full details.
What is your primary goal? Is that then? There's no. What's your other?
Well, I guess the question is like the next getting at is like, okay, so you want to enact this change. What do you hope is the eventual result of your video?
Okay.
Of all this.
So I know there's people out there saying I'm doing it to self-serve. I just want my video back up. I don't give a shit if my video comes back up. It did what it needed to do. So that was in the video, is currently in police custody. And
was that as a result of your video, or was that prior to the video?
Yes, it was because of the video. The video was about
Okay, so he says, okay.
My video back up. I don't give a shit if my video comes back up. It did what it needed to do. So that was in the video, is currently in police custody. And
was that as a result of your video, or was that prior to the video?
Yes, it was because of the video.
But you don't know that you're in police. Okay, so you didn't know that he was in police custody. It was just hearsay, and there was nothing to verify that. And so you are claiming here that your video resulted in that.
The video was about IMVU and this one predator. I made it about him and him alone.
IMVU is a game, right? You played the game and you exposed this guy.
Yes.
Do you mind walking me through the chain of events that led from your video to him being imprisoned?
Yeah, so I dropped the video. The end of the video is a call to action. Usually all my videos are a call to action. Like,
so that, I mean, that would be the point to clarify. Oh, by the way, I don't know if this actually led to it. But Nick, Tom is asking, okay, can you lead me to the, you know, through the events that led to his arrest from your video? So, yeah, sure thing.
Yeah, so I dropped the video. The end of the video is a call to action. Usually all my videos are a call to action, like find him, and we did.
So in this case, find him meant like you didn't know who he was. You wanted his doc so he could go to jail.
All we had was his face and his voice.
Right.
And out of that, I said find him, and then within 24 hours, we found him. And then I started social engineering all of his friends to give me his information, and they did. And then we pegged him. He fled to Mexico. We found where he was in Mexico.
Did what? Okay, I've done that joke.
I don't know if the police, he was from Canada, so I don't know if the police asked him to come back.
That's all terrible people are.
I don't know if the police asked him to come back or he went on his own volition or they forced him to come back. I don't know any of those details. I just know he went back to Canada and was in police custody for a certain amount of time.
So you lied?
No, Nicholas. Let's play the full clip.
He went back to Canada and was in police custody for a certain amount of time. I don't know if they did anything yet, but I will be making an update video about him soon.
So he was arrested at some point. It's fair to say that, you know that.
I don't know if he was arrested or they just like interrogated him. Like, you know how police they don't have to arrest you to question you.
Right.
Because I don't know if his victims, he did have previous victims before my video. I don't know if.
But you didn't know that. That was just hearsay. I mean, Nick is wrong with you. You lied. You seem to have genuinely believed that. But you say quite clearly that he was arrested because of your video. But then you admit that, oh, okay, well, I don't even know if he was arrested.
They ever spoke to the police about it.
Because that was the narrative. That was the narrative that span around. Oh, MamaMax, he's the guy who like gets pedos arrested.
Talking to one of them, but she hasn't been responsive recently. So I'm in the dark so far, but we're gonna get back on that after we finish this shit with YouTube.
So you did find out who he is. You did find out who he is, but you didn't put him in jail. Is that fair to say?
I don't know if we put him in jail, is what I'm saying.
Okay.
Huh.
So you say, yes, my video led to him getting arrested. My video led to him getting arrested again and again and again. Then they ask you to clarify, and then you say, well, I don't know.
Pretty funny how these commentary channels keep cutting out context to these clips, and then misquoting me completely to things that I never actually said.
You went on.
Oh, okay.
And you said, this guy was arrested, it was because of me, it was because of my video.
Yeah.
So it's starting to look more like they are lying. And
you did say that. You did say that. You then said, well, I don't know, you know, was he just questioned? Was he just... Okay.
Actually being completely honest and transparent. Regardless, I clarified Zakadod's fate in the subsequent video.
So the hunt
continued. At no point were you honest that this is like, oh, this is just hearsay. This is just like, you know, people in his hometown that I'm like DMing with.
We theorize that they will try to find sanctuary in the Philippines where they have family. So all of my viewers who are Filipino, huwag mahiyang i-re-upload ang video nito at yung huling video na naisalin sa sarili niyang wika sa inyo na ring ang makita sa ad basta ipalaganap niyo ang mensahe.
So I don't think I lied. I'm not here to meme on you or make fun of you. I genuinely once believed you were making a difference at one point, but now I'm not so sure. I hope to hear answers from you soon, Max. I hope that answered some of your questions. I would like to continue this conversation.
You should at least just like take accountability for having like you know, phrased it poorly, or admitted that yeah, I could have made this a lot more clear. But he's not taking accountability for any of that. He's just claiming to have been upfront and honest the entire time, which isn't true.
Spencer claiming you're starving her. Just for context, Spencer is the cult survivor we were helping. Max starving and hurting Spencer? Looks like Spencer is on Facebook in groups asking for money for moving. She is claiming Max is domestically abusing her and starving her. She doesn't say his name, but it's very implied because she lives with him. Wasn't Max supposed to give her a bunch of money? Seems like she spent it or he lied. Here's screenshots I got, but covered people not involved with him. I met this young girl online from a post she shared in a local group. She's doing her best to get out of a really bad domestic situation. She's trying to get back local to stay with friends where she will no longer have to starve, but can't bring herself to abandon her dog there. I know some don't get it, but some will. She found a friend who will foster her dog until she gets on her feet. She just needs some help. Even small donations add up.
This is a fucking scam. Where's my nacho fries?
All I can tell you is that we had plenty of food when she was living here. We always got her food every time she asked. When she wasn't buying her own food, I would go to the food bank and get her food or pay for her food or share our food with her. I even got her $31.63 worth of Taco Bell while she was packing her stuff. And barbacoa.
Yeah, I don't know if anybody actually took this very seriously, but the domestic violence thing, or the domestic situation, does that count as domestic violence? Oh, some kind of domestic situation, I guess, like in terms of her dormitory, her home, right?
Tacos at her request before she left. Besides that...
Apparently he was sharing a lot of food. Well, I mean, yeah.
I don't know. So are the allegations...
It feels like he was probably picking up the crumbs from the floor, but, you know.
Spencer brought up true. You decide for yourself. So
What?
apparently... So are the allegations that Spencer brought up true? You decide for yourself.
Well, the allegations are what? I met this young girl online from a post she had. She's she will no longer have to starve, but can't bring herself to abandon her dog here. Okay.
I don't know.
Yeah, you
so
can
are
look
the
at her and tell
allegations
she
that
wasn't
Spencer brought
starving.
up true? You decide for yourself. So apparently one of her friends leaked a private message that I guess she was sending out to all her friends. So I ended up moving in with the YouTuber that was supposed to help me expose the cult as it was my last resort. So this is true. Spencer moved in because she was in the middle of a crisis, getting kicked out of her family home. She had nowhere else to stay. And since we were making a documentary, I thought it would be beneficial to have her close, especially since a big part of this documentary was to get her independence. There's also multiple people living at my house. She's been a family friend for years, and so I didn't think it would be weird if we invite her to stay in one of the empty rooms we have, temporarily. Even her father came to meet me and my other roommates, and we all agreed this arrangement was fine. But of course, the internet made malicious rumors about us because of this. In retrospect, it was a bad idea. I know guys, you tried to tell me. Because she is a disrespectful roommate, a very demanding individual, and a hyper-reactive personality, which we will address soon. He promised to cover food, medical, everything. Well, he only wanted to help for the money, so he never paid any of my medical from the start. This isn't true. I paid for her first few bills, but then after everything that happened, I literally could not afford to even keep us in this house unless we were all working together. And so she agreed to get a job and start earning on her own, which is what I wanted her to do anyway, so she could become independent. He was buying food at first, but then he tanked his career, which in turn has people convinced I'm a bad person like him, so people are stalking me online. So there are people stalking her and me online. There is a community of cyberstalkers that are really quite disturbing, and are genuinely cyberstalking.
First of all, I was one of the OG people to cover MamaMax.
No way. No way. Himpleton's the cyberstalker.
Really quite disturbing, and are genuinely cyberstalking.
First of all, I was one of the OG people to cover MamaMax. I was actually the person who got the feds sicked on him, which was a secret for a long time.
So this is just one of my many cyberstalkers who has a documented history of stalking not just me, but many other people. They describe themselves as legitimately insane on their YouTube account.
No way. No way. Himpleton shout out. Himpleton shout out.
And has obsessively created a number of disturbing videos about me, including one that's so egregious that it's unlisted, where he is stalking me, finding and murdering one of my team members, and decapitating them and sacrificing their severed head on an altar, or something.
I mean, this is like Gokanara did this, iDubbbz did this. I mean, okay, I feel like if you're worried about genuine like cyber harassment or whatever, this is probably not the example you want to go with.
These are the types of sources for the defamation campaign, and again, he is just one of many cyberstalkers that frequent the MamaMax cyberstalking subreddits. So in the beginning, I did advise Spencer to remain anonymous until the end of the documentary, but
what's he done? What's he done? He contacted the feds? I don't even know what he did, to be honest. I don't even know what he did. What did he contact the feds about?
She did not like the idea. I warned her about the tactics people may use against us and suggested leaving the online interactions to me, but she continued to be hyper-reactive. And even after I told her that my subreddits are not actually mine, but are targeted by cyberstalkers, she still chose to interact with them. Every time I gave her advice, she ignored it. So she can blame me for people cyberstalking her, but you can't protect someone that isn't going to listen. So people are stalking me online, and wants me out because he's not making money off of me, but still wants to make money off of me. I never wanted to make money off of her. I even told her she didn't want to do the documentary, and I told her that's okay. Hey Spencer, your birthday is coming up later this month, and I'd like to take you back to Wiley to be with your
Yeah,
family.
I mean, Spencer approached him, right? Spencer approached him. And it seems like he did a lot to, like, help Spencer out. Yeah, Spencer's just a wretched individual. I don't know.
While we're there, we should figure out the healthiest living situation for you. This current one isn't supporting the best lifestyle for any of us, and I don't want to add unnecessary pressure by pushing too hard or dealing with an eviction process. I still believe your story is incredibly important and should be shared with the world. I'd like to help you write a memoir about your experiences both in and out of the cult.
A memoir. A memoir. Oh my god, a fucking memoir. A fucking Okay.
Finishing this documentary. Let me know what you think and if you have any questions. I guess I'll have to find housing for Belfie so I don't lose him for good. Anywhere I'd have to go.
Wait, was her surname, like, public record? Was her Oh, fuck me, man. Was her surname public before this? I don't know. Okay.
And honestly, I'd rather not.
Yeah,
do
good
the
job censoring out her face, though, mate.
Documentary or anything else regarding the cult. It's not good for my mental health, and I don't ever want to be in the public eye again after what happened. We can care for Belf if needed, and I don't blame you. We don't have to do the documentary. Your health is priority. But later down the line, when you're feeling better, you should absolutely consider writing a book. Your experiences are important, and you're not alone. But still wants to make money off of me? He got me a dog. We'll come back to that. He got me a dog and had me move everything I owned to anchor me. Yeah, I did not want her to move everything to anchor her. I did not know she was bringing her entire life with her, and she spent a lot of money. I simply wanted to document...
Jesus Christ.
Back to that. He got me a dog and had me move everything I owned to anchor me. Yeah, I did not want her to move everything to anchor her. I did not know she was...
Fucking hell. I thought all that stuff in the background was his. And this stuff here was hers. This is insane. Is this just all your worldly possessions? Okay.
She was bringing her entire life with her, and she
missing
spent a lot of
post
money.
then.
I simply wanted to document her experience throughout this entire process. I figured out a foster for my dog until I can figure permanent housing out. So I offered to keep him because I love that guy. And she said it was the last resort. Hey Spencer, I'm sorry things didn't go as planned. The internet is a strange place these days, and I thought reaching out to the right people would make everything okay. What happened to us was really traumatizing, not gonna lie, and I know therapy will help both of us. I encourage you to take all the healthiest steps. I want to see you happy again. I think going home is the best choice for you. All your roots are in DFW, and I hope...
To be fair to him, okay? To be fair to him and her, they did go through like a lot of pretty... it was deserved, right? It was just public scrutiny. But they went through a lot of public criticism for quite a while. And I imagine that being quite hard on them. Anybody, right? Rightly or wrongly, widespread public criticism is going to have an effect on anybody.
Hopefully the green will cheer you up. Rest assured, Belf will always be yours, but we'll take good care of him if you need us to. I know things were tense at times living together, but I think time and space will help. You'll always have a friend in me, and if you ever want to talk, please reach out. I still believe you have an important story that needs to be heard, now more than ever. Get the recovery you deserve, but please don't ever give up. Thank you for being concerned.
Yeah, I think one thing you have to say about Max is that he is a true believer. He is genuinely, well, he's genuine about the causes that he claims to care about. I don't think you should really doubt that about
my mental well-being. I hope you are doing well, and if not, also seek the help that I am. I'm currently seeking a home for Belfie, as him staying here would be last resort, and I would hate to burden you further with taking care of him. You are right, this is an important story, but at this time I think I need to put the project on hold as I try to work on myself. But my biggest issue is needing someone willing to drive the full 18 hours from Dallas to here and back. I have the U-Haul trailer figured out, but I'm panicked because if I don't get out after my dog leaves on the 15th, I'll be stuck here until after my birthday, and have no way to really feed myself. None of that is true. How would I get my stuff back? Pack a few suitcases for the trip. We'll leave on the 24th early in the morning.
Dude, the fucking music is fucking insane, especially when he's criticizing Nicholas Dura and fucking commentary channels for what? Like making him look ugly in their thumbnails. And then he's doing this. She's depicting this like horrendous like hellscape. Like she's walking through she's trying to leave the gates of oblivion to get to safety. And then he's playing this video as if it was actually heaven. Living with me was actually heaven. Okay, this is definitely not manipulative, but okay, it's fine. It's fine. I don't care about it. but it's hugely hypocritical.
Figure out the permanent residence for you. I'll pay for a pod and load it up and send it to you. That sound good? I have somewhere my stuff can go already. I could honestly pack up whatever would fit for now in my friend's car, so you don't need a big pod, and she could come get me sooner if you prefer. I'll be staying with her anyways. I've been having to live off donating plasma because I was limited to remote work, and I don't qualify for anything remote.
I forgot about this, dude. This is such a good fucking rundown of the fucking drama again. I've been having to live off donating plasma.
Due to my experience. So she wasn't the only one living off of donating plasma.
Oh
we were all
my
donating
God.
plasma because times were tough. I was limited to remote work. That's because we all got jobs and none of us could drive her to work. And she couldn't really perform at an actual job. So remote work was the best option.
Okay. Regret to inform you that due to several reasons, your employment with the spot will be terminated. I appreciate your contributions and wish you the best in your future endeavors. You're not going to clarify why. I'd appreciate that. It's several reasons of complaints from employees here. Not being able to clean due to your disabilities, which is another thing for this job, is not meant for you, that we need someone who can do these things.
For her. What the absolute hell did you send me? It's for AI training. It's legit, I promise. Dude, I don't have the brain capacity to answer everything at once. If this is the application, how hard is the job? Applications can be long, but the $20 an hour makes it worth the effort. I know you're capable of writing out complex ideas. I believe in you. I probably could if my mind didn't feel like a 50-car collision, but I don't have the mental energy for all that writing. If I did, I wouldn't have so many unfinished stories from the past 5 years sitting in my docs. I called more vape shops and sent my resume.
Wretched bedblob. What more do we need to fucking know? Holy shit. Oh my god. I don't know why he censored her fucking face. The fucking vape shop. She can't fucking clean, apparently. She can't fucking clean, but she can stand behind a fucking counter with a fucking jelly belly all day long. Is her disability unironically just her morbid obesity? Probably.
Super proud of you for job searching. Just a heads up, we are about to be super busy with work, so carpooling...
Yeah, I was going to say, the vape shop will ask her to clean. You have to as, like, you know, working a low-paying job like that. They're not going to have a separate fucking shop cleaner.
Less frequent, and a high-paying remote job would be best for you guys. More money means more chances to take care of your health, and better health will lead to an awesome life. This AI training job is a perfect opportunity. I know writing can be draining right now, but using your creative brain is like building a muscle. It gets easier and even feels empowering with enough time and effort. You might even get back to finish those stories, as you absolutely should. That's just my recommendation. I won't force it on you if you don't want it, but also don't give up so easily. I believe in you, but believing in yourself is what truly matters. So as you can see, she didn't even really want to try. He's not physically hurting me, but was withholding funds that were supposed to be mine since January. Saw me struggling to donate plasma just to feed my dog and myself. So the funds were meant for all of the survivors, not just for her. And after I discovered she was mishandling the money for her personal expenses, I took over as the financial manager.
Yeah, true. You expect Nate and Kel to both fit in a room together.
Also, she wanted to donate plasma. She was always asking us to take her to donate plasma. Even then, we never let Belf go hungry, whether or not she was paying for his food or not feeding him. Gaslights me and also tried to convince me to break up with Michael. I don't know what she means by gaslighting her, and I never tried to convince her to break up with her boyfriend. I was just asking her if she was in a healthy relationship, because by her own words, she has been in abusive relationships before. And as a friend, this current one didn't look that great, to me and pretty much everyone else. Mainly because he enables her self-isolation. She stayed in her room and talked to him 24/7.
Fucking hell.
That looked very unhealthy to me. He had $5,000 that he was supposed to give back to me as funds for the survivors of the cult, but everyone else fucked off. I asked for the money every now and again, but his excuse was always something about bills. Yes, bills are real. I finally remembered again today, and he's...
What? No, there was money that you had claimed that you had put aside for the survivors. Are you gonna talk about that? Because apparently nothing went to the survivors. At all. She took $5,000 from the GoFundMe.
He's taking $1,700 in expenses. And I told her I could itemize those expenses, but she said it was fine. Also, whatever happened to the $5,000 in survivor funds I sent back to you in January for the GoFundMe, it could really help me access better mental health treatment when I leave, as well as get me situated when I arrive, and possibly even a storage unit for my valuables so I don't have to worry about moving everything I own in the future if I don't...
She was in charge of the fund. She was in charge of the fund. So there were expenses, apparently, which I think GoFundMe does take a cut, but she was supposed to divvy those up to, like, everyone. And she took them all.
Need it. It would really make things 10 times easier. You still have $3,300 after expenses. All I ask is to give me time to send it. Is 5 payments of $660 per month okay? What expenses? Housing and utilities, Belf's property damage, the hitch, etc. Would you like me to provide an itemized breakdown?
Wait. Why the in a GoFundMe that's supposed to be meant for the victims is Max taking out expenses for housing and utilities, the fucking dog's property damage, the hitch, etc.? Why is he taking that out of the Survivor Fund? Did he get raped by Camden Gerard Davis too?
No, that's fine. Just wanted to double check. Could you possibly send that first payment?
That's coming out of her share. It sounds like she's taken even more.
Or Belfie leaves so I can get him a bag of food for his trip. But I decided it was better to give
that should not be coming out before he gives it to her. Realistically, he should just give her the money. And then she should pay back whatever it is. Mixing those kind of funds like that.
Rest of the money to the other survivors because Spencer used the money for personal expenses. Hey, I'm in the ER right now.
Wait. Survivor 3 out of 3. So there's 3 survivors here. So there's Spencer and there's 3 other people. What happened to the 5th? Because if you remember, when he did the video back here, he was talking about doing, 3 minutes per survivor for a 15-minute session. Are they just 4 survivors, including Spencer? Maybe that extra one was time for questions. Because he spoke about that being time for questions afterwards. Okay.
To the other survivors because Spencer used the money for personal expenses. Hey, I'm in the ER right now and may be admitted. I really need that second payment by tomorrow, please. Hey, Spencer, what are you in the ER for? Respiratory came in last Monday too, but I've not improved. I wake up literally unable to breathe at all, and I'm now admitted. Just waiting to be transferred, but I have 2 ER visits to pay off now. They're giving me magnesium right now. I'm really sorry to hear that, but I've already distributed the remaining funds to other survivors since it was meant for everyone. However, I can definitely send you some resources for financial assistance with medical bills if you like. No, you said you would be paying me $3,300. You don't get to go back on that after a little bit of time has passed. You do not get to make decisions about where the funds go without talking with me about it. You knew I needed therapy and agreed to payments. You need to honor that. I understand you're expecting payment, but after reviewing the contract, it's clear that the financial responsibilities weren't met, and the majority of the funds were used for your personal expenses. Unfortunately, since the documentary wasn't completed, you're not entitled to any remaining funds.
What? So he did make this agreement to put her in control of the funds and said that he was going to send it over. And he's saying what, she violated her terms of the contract. Did ChatGPT write this as well?
In the medical resources I offered. I'm afraid there's nothing more I can do at this point. I hope things improve for you. So I just want to bring up the fact that she gets free therapy through an organization known as LifePath. Plus, her respiratory problems are caused by her own chronic smoking. Here's one out of many
The vaping! Okay.
Conversations we had regarding her smoking.
I mean, her disability is also caused by her being morbidly obese. Are all of this girl's problems caused by her own choices?
Consulting for medical coding, but it's expensive. That's a job? It can be, but I'd have to go to school for it. Proud of you for searching already. I'd be down to put you through school, you just have to commit and we would need financial aid, but that sounds awesome. I agree. Do you know someone that can help forge me a high school diploma? I also need to figure out for sure what I'd want to do. Just get your GED. Committing crimes is only going to harm you in the long term. If you need help getting started, that's what I'm here for. Education will absolutely help in every area of your life. That just costs more time and money though. It's a very powerful investment that will help throughout your life.
Do you know anybody who can, help me commit this crime? Trash attracts trash. I mean, she's just a different type. She's just a different type of trash, isn't she? She's just a different type of trash. Jesus Christ, dude.
That said, chronic marijuana use will hinder your learning significantly. So if you want to pursue that...
Yeah, if you need a high school diploma, forgeries... if you need high school diploma forgeries, you're actually retarded. True. Oh my god, the only thing worse than not being able to complete high school is actually needing help to, forge the diploma. If you're that retarded, why the fuck do you think you're smart enough to commit crimes and get away with it?
Then you'll have to find alternative forms of medication. Then education is out.
We need morale in this woman's DMs ASAP. If it's a woman with an online presence, just assume it's really happened, okay?
I have no other form of pain relief that doesn't risk addiction. Okay. And I'd rather not be in pain than be book smart. Understood, but it's an option that I cannot recommend enough for positive long-term impact. Also, you don't have to completely quit to pursue education. I'm just personally recommending moderation if you do want to pursue education. But please don't give up on your education. You can do great things for the world, and that will only help accelerate you towards an incredible future. Okay, I'm done now. Sorry for the spam. If you make a post, please just don't name me, as people on Reddit are stalking me because of this YouTuber, and I don't want to add any fuel to their fire, but hey, even calling around means the world. I'm taking what I can get at this point. So I think Spencer was just trying to villainize me so people will feel more sorry for her and more inclined to help.
BPD. BPD. 110% BPD. She BPD to fuck. She BPD to fuck.
But I did try my best to help her. Here's just one example where I'm trying to figure out what she needs. Do you want to go to the movies with us tonight? Can I let you know by 2 or so, having a bad pain flare-up? That's fine. Do you need anything for the pain? I took ibuprofen, but it doesn't help. It's your hip? Hip and lower back, locked and swollen. Do you want me to bring you an ice pack? It can reduce inflammation and alleviate pain. Ice makes mine worse, unfortunately. Also, I think maybe I should wait until next movie night. Aside from the hip pain, I just don't feel up to it since I've been cramping from the monostat. I'm sorry. Don't be sorry, you will be missed. Do you need to go to the hospital? The cramping is sadly normal with monostat. It's also caused bleeding, but I should be fine. Okay, stay strong. So, I did not want to believe it, but it has become clear to me now that Spencer is dishonest. While making these allegations, she acted nice.
The cult is still real though, guys. The cult is still real though, guys, okay? The cult is still... It's still... The case is... She's still a survivor. Okay.
Towards me, and I genuinely thought we were friends this whole time. You'll see here when I found out about the allegations.
She had a yeast infection. Huh? I mean, at that size,
And I genuinely thought we were friends this whole time. You'll see here when I found out about the allegations, I thought she was being impersonated. No, someone shared my post about needing help to send Belfie to North Carolina for his foster and training, and she was under the assumption it was something like that, so called it a domestic situation. I corrected her, but I guess Reddit saw before that and ran with it as she got a message from a backdated FB profile with...
No! So she's in the background, still trying to, like, massage her relationship with Max. Like, no. I didn't say anything like that. I didn't... No. I didn't speak ill of you at all. No, it's just a misunderstanding. I've contacted her. I mean, it seems like those Reddit guys have got to it first, but no, I never... slimy little fuck.
AI-generated profile pictures saying this shit. I see. Would you be okay to put out a statement on your YouTube? Just letting everyone know you're okay. You don't have to be specific unless you want to. I'd rather not, as it'll only fuel them more. They don't care. They just want to speculate. Someone on my friends list is doing this as the messages mention my cooking from when I moved in, and I just want to disappear from the internet altogether now.
No, putting out a statement to say that, no, this isn't true, I'm not claiming this, would... Okay. Dude, the lies! The lies!
Spent too much energy panicking about it last night, and I can't afford to put any more into it. She did not tell me about it, by the way. I say something, they'll probe harder, and I don't want my family more at risk than they already are. I'm sorry. I felt she was lying to me, so I sent her a picture of the message from the person who made the Facebook post asking for the donations.
She was in a domestic violence situation. I thought that was the case. I thought that was the allegation. I thought that was the accusation.
She told me she was in a domestic violence situation. She's been starving off and on for a long time.
Did she not accuse Camden Gerard Davis of the exact same shit when she lived with him? Did she not accuse Camden of the exact same thing? Hitting her, beating her up, starving her, only feeding her fucking crackers like a fucking parrot. A lot is coming together. Oh yeah, kicking her stomach until she had an abortion.
Time and needs to get home. So, I don't know. I think she's struggling and trying to get out of a situation.
He's so fucked.
I never told anyone there was domestic violence. I never once said that. I was struggling because my mental health was faltering and I couldn't afford food for a long time. Again, this is misconstrued. I already explained what I told her. She chose to use those words, and again, I tried correcting her when I found out, as I didn't know that's what she assumed. Okay, well in these situations, it's best to put out a brief written statement to correct the narrative. If you don't want to, then you don't have to. But keeping me from speaking up for myself is only going to cause more problems. Staying silent is what destroyed us, and this will blow up regardless. And it did. I've already been discharged from my volunteer work because of this shit, and I'd rather not lose more. How do you want to proceed? This next message she sends is one of the most disrespectful and ignorant things I've ever read, so I'm going to stop every now and then to reply to what she's saying. You can't put out a fire with a fire. So I never ask her to put out a fire with a fire. I just ask her to make a statement that she is okay and none of the rumors are true. But I didn't realize until later that she wanted people to believe I am a bad person who is starving her and domestically abusing her. And at this point, maybe it's better not to work with kids if you know people are going to do shit like that. I know it sucks, but you should cut your losses because nothing will stop them from doing the same in the future. So what she is telling me is to just give up on my career path in advocacy due to the problems that have happened because I chose to believe in her story and help her.
Oh,
Judging from what Michael saw on the
true.
Reddit, the volunteer thing happened before they said anything about me. Actually, no. People are not going to change their mind. They'll take it as you doubling down again, and it will make things worse. You've been through this before.
I mean, that is actually kind of, that is kind of true. Now I'm thinking about it. I mean, as I'm thinking about it, that is, what she's saying is true there. He's got a public persona, which is kind of fucked at this point. Although, her putting out a public statement would change a lot of that stuff. The accusations that she's made has got nothing to do with him getting fired from his volunteering job. When two extremely manipulative people try and manipulate each other, we kind a little bit, maybe.
You should know that better than anyone that this will hurt us both. So this is not true. I know better than anyone that you guys, the audience, just want to know the truth. But it is very difficult.
That's not true. That's not true. The audience just wants to, like, see something that's entertaining. Lies and exposing lies are entertaining. I don't think that's true. Audiences don't flock to truth. We don't have, like, I don't know, an organ for truth. If the audience just wants to know the truth, why are you complaining that other people don't give you a platform? Why are you taking a year to prepare this video? Why is Nicholas Duria's, career been, like, essentially just reinvigorated because of the video that apparently he made slandering you, right?
Difficult to get the truth out there when there are hundreds of other YouTubers giving you different stories, claiming that they are the truth, especially when some of them have much larger audiences than your own. But what Spencer doesn't understand is that you have to keep going. If you stop uploading, the truth will just become whatever is out there. If you ignore them, they will go away, but you have to give that time. You're always so impatient to put something out the moment someone says something. I just wanted to upload a podcast and a documentary. That is all I wanted.
No.
After waiting almost a year, I felt it was time to start uploading again.
No, that's not what you wanted to do, you fucking freak. You wanted to, like, pressure bigger YouTubers into giving you, like, clout and attention. And sure, you wanted to make a documentary. That's not the only thing you wanted to fucking do. Don't fucking lie.
Again. Apparently that makes...
Joseph Rogan. PewDiePie. Yeah,
to me, so impatient to get something out there, I guess. Let them have basic claims. You can find better sources of income. Just don't do anything publicized, and they can't try to do
Joseph Biden.
like get you put out of a job. So this is not anywhere close to true. In fact, it's quite the opposite. Just because you stop doing anything publicly does not mean people will stop stalking you. In fact, it makes it worse because the stalkers are empowered by your silence. The only way to stop...
That's not true. Oh, no. Himpy mention again. That's not true, actually. If you stop doing stuff publicly, it can die down. The problem is when it's like a ooh, 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 here and there, a little drip feed. Ooh, 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 here and there, just a little bit of information. That keeps it going. But apart from that...
you. In fact, it makes it worse because the stalkers are empowered by your silence. The only way to stop stalkers is to shine a light on them by reporting them to the police, telling your local community, and informing your social media that you are being stalked, which is also what you have been doing. I don't understand why you'd want to try to be public again after everything that's happened. If it's as traumatizing for you as you said, you wouldn't keep adding fuel like this because, like it or not, that's what you'll be doing. I can't believe she would say something like this, being that people were harassing her, saying if she was actually as traumatized by the events of her own life as much as she claims, she wouldn't keep talking about it online. She is using the exact same victim-blaming logic that was used against her to try and keep me from using my platform and my voice. If you say something about the woman, you'd be putting her at risk of harassment too, and that's the last thing she needs. They found her easily. So at no point do I say we need to mention that woman that made the post. The one who is responsible for all of this is you, Spencer. I don't care what the internet has to say, and after what they did to you, you shouldn't either. This is trivial in the grand scheme of things, and I want zero part, zero mention. I don't exist in this BS internet world anymore. So at first, I wanted to respect her privacy. I don't even feel good about exposing her like this, and that is why I've chosen to be silent for so long, even after she continually makes claims that blow up. All they want to do is hurt people. I know you know it's true. There are some people who want to hurt people, and there are a lot of them on that subreddit that I tried warning her about, but most people just want to understand what is going on. And when you do things like make inflammatory allegations, they are going to want to know what is true and what is not about what you said. And if you don't get the message out there, someone else will. Please understand that this isn't just about you, and you need to do what's best for everyone in this situation. And what's best is to not egg it on. On the contrary, Spencer, you need to understand that this isn't just about you. Now that I have seen firsthand the claims she is willing to make just to victimize herself in a situation where me and my roommates were all working together just to take care of her. This raises a very important question. Was she lying about Camden and the cult?
He's asking the question on all of our minds. Yes.
When I first interviewed Spencer, I thought she was one of the bravest and strongest people I have ever met.
Yeah?
I was inspired by her story and wanted to do everything in my power to ensure this case gets the attention it deserves. I failed in doing that, and I am so sorry to all of the survivors. Whether Spencer lied about her experiences, I have no idea. All I
what, Max? I thought you had proof. I thought you had verifiable evidence. I thought MamaMax was lying. Sorry, I thought Mutahar was lying when he said that none of this was verified and that you have fucking nothing. Okay. Could Spencer have been lying? I do not know. What the fuck do you mean you don't know? Surely there's something else to corroborate this.
I know is that Spencer was one of the first to speak up about it. She was willing enough to admit to crimes, and there are...
Strong enough to speak up about it? Speak up about what?
A growing number of victims who can substantiate the cult's existence with their own testimonies and evidence. Many of the stories you have heard by some very influential YouTubers are not true, and I will go into more detail as time goes on. For now, I still believe this case warrants an investigation by law enforcement, as we have tried reporting.
Then take it to the police.
Many times.
Okay, what's going on there, man?
So an individual named Camden Gerard Davis, more than likely resides at this, address. We believe that he is trafficking minors and has child on his devices. I'm actually a previous victim of his, and I have substantial evidence related to this case, such as a report that was filed back in 2017 against him, but was never investigated.
It was investigated.
Do you have an address, an email address where I could send those PDF files?
PDF
I'll have to
files?
put you through to a deputy in order to do that, ma'am. What's your phone number?
But from what I have heard, nothing has been done. Regardless, I still hope Spencer and the rest of the survivors find justice one day. How do you feel about losing your job at the Children's Outreach thing? So for those of you that don't know, I was volunteering with an organization known as CASA, Court-Appointed Special Advocates for Children. It is a great organization that teaches people how to advocate for children in the United States legal system as a guardian ad litem. You are essentially...
Don't care.
I think I've figured out the right way to go about all of this. Lilac and gooseberries. Maybe next time be the vigilante and go after them since you got the sources instead of role-playing justice. Justice is very difficult. I can do my best. I can show what is happening on these platforms like IMVU. I can document all of the recorded evidence of my interactions with these predators.
Can you send them to the police?
And send it to my people who upload it to these mega drives. We all collaborate on sending this information to law enforcement. And when nothing is done, we make a video about it on YouTube showing what these predators did.
Has something ever been done? What do you mean when nothing is done? You mean every time? Because nothing is ever done.
People are blaming me for the predators not getting arrested, but I am not an officer of the law. I'm not a judge. We have to look to the mechanisms that are enabling predators to walk free and the mechanisms that prevent children from reporting crimes. These are the real issues here. I know my adversaries want to make it seem like MamaMax is the issue. I do not control these systems. What's your actual plan for systematically changing how sex crimes against children are prosecuted? I'm sure there's people much smarter than me who have policies and systems that can truly make a difference. And I'm going to go ahead and play some of them.
We're economically attacking the young, but I know. Let's attack their emotional and mental well-being. Let's take advantage of the fact of the flaws in our species with medieval institutions, Paleolithic instincts, and godlike technology. I'm just going to say, I think Mark Zuckerberg has done more damage to young people in our nation while making more money than any person in history. Oh, but wait, what could be worse? It's as if we let an adversary implant a neural jack into our youth to raise a generation of civic, military, and business leaders that hate America. All right, this all adds up to a bunch of graphs all headed up into the right. And what are they? What's the first one? Oh, that's self-harm rates, which have exploded, especially among girls since my...
This is somebody complaining about it. This isn't a policy prescription.
Colleague Jonathan Haidt pointed out it's really gone crazy since social went on mobile. What's the next one? Teens with depression. The next one, men and women not having sex. Next graph, cumulative gun deaths. You're more likely to be shot in the United States if you're a toddler or an infant than a cop. Next graph, obesity, overdose deaths, way up, deaths of despair. When I was in high school.
Is that because of phones? Is that because of phones? Is that because of phones? Like, these seem plausible, potentially. This guy seems retarded. Is this TED or
drunk driving, now
TEDx?
it's kids killing themselves. We got the hard stuff figured out. There are programs to address all of these issues. They cost a lot of money. That's the hard part. We have the money, but we decide not to do it. This is per capita spending on childcare in the United States relative to other nations. We need to remove 230 protection for all algorithmically elevated content.
So just a quick explanation. Section 230 protects platforms from being held liable.
No, Max. Max, are you using AI again? Are you getting your legal definitions from AI again? Just go and read an article about Section 230 protections. Just read about what a safe harbor provision is. Stop using AI, Max. You got this. This got you so much shit before. Why are you doing this again?
For user-posted content. So let's use an infamous teen dating app as an example. Despite the fact that they have a massive child predator problem, they can't be held liable for the crimes that are being committed on their platform, and thus have no incentive to fix the issues, except for reputational damage when someone exposes them. If Section 230 could be corrected to specifically hold
It's a concomitant. Concomitant trend. I'm gonna have to remember that word. That trend is really good. That word is really good, okay? Concomitant. 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 Thank you.
platforms accountable if they are perpetuating crimes, then that would only push platforms to prevent crimes against children on their services. I know you...
Yeah, but it also means that any crime that's like as a result of what? Yeah, it's but that would mean that if somebody posts a death threat on Twitter, Twitter is fucking liable. If I send Aiden a death threat in DMs, Twitter is liable. If somebody posts child porn, Twitter is liable. Any kind of crime that you could commit on social media, then is personally what? Personally chargeable against what, the CEO, the owner of the platform? The business then gets sued for that? Yeah, Max is very, very brain dead. Because apparently he gets his policy prescriptions from fucking TED Talks.
Perpetuating crimes, then that would only push platforms to prevent crimes against children on their services. I know you asked specifically about prosecution, but prevention is infinitely more important to me.
So, yeah. Why do you think basic criticism of you is mass psychosis? I don't. I am just explaining...
Is that Connor?
Reality is mass
Okay.
Psychosis. I don't. I am just explaining a reality we are dealing with on the internet.
But this is why I hate the commentary community sometimes. Like, I legitimately, like, fucking hate some of these people. Because it's always like, well, a lot of people went with this, right? Sure, I understand how a lot of people can get something wrong, but, like, there are also people in the space who are absolutely happy to be, like, wrong, as long as it's financially lucrative. I can't make a follow-up video because it won't get any views to correct the thing that I personally fucked up, right? So they're not incentivized to correct anything or tell the truth. They're incentivized to do what people want to click on. And if there's a jerk wave going on, well, people are going to...
A Cheeto mention. Oh my god, do you remember that? Do you remember that drama? Oh my god, that was so fucking good. But basically, if you want the rundown on that, a Cheeto came out, made a video about something. He got it, like, wrong. He, like, jumped the gun and, like, concluded on something. Then he got contacted by Larix about it. Larix said, yeah, you might want to actually delete that. He got really fucking sensitive. And then it's Sniper Wolf. Oh, it was the Sniper Wolf drama with her apparently copyright striking this guy's video. She didn't. He concluded on it. And then Larix said, oh, you might want to delete that video, actually. Or you might want to, like, post a retraction. And the Cheeto refused to. He's like, I don't want to private it. That might, like, fuck me up in the algorithm. Like, maybe if I just, like, change... Is it that bad? Like, people already watched it. Okay, maybe I'll change the title, okay? Maybe I'll change the title. Anything he could fucking do to not post a retraction or just delete the video.
Want to click on the negative video. So that's what drives me crazy. There's like a fucking...
Yes! He also said, who cares? It's Sniper Wolf. Oh my god, what a fuck.
Commentary community right now that is a for...
He wanted to pin a message in the comments. Yeah, you want to change the description. Oh my god.
Profit misinformation machine or whatever. And then whenever it gets called out, they all have like a huge pity party for themselves. Oh my god, I can't believe this turnaround. What? Wow, this plot twist is crazy.
No,
guys,
man.
we really got to be
He's fucking taking a victory lap way too fucking early.
better at this in the future. It's like, no, it's a for-profit misinformation machine.
For someone that's a for-profit misinformation machine, that was well said, Nicholas Diorio. That's what I'm trying to say about mass psychosis, is that we're believing all of these things that aren't real.
We are still talking about mostly conversations that we've had, 4 years ago about spread of misinformation, things like that. The rate and acceleration of new kinds of threats, new kinds of issues, the growth rate of that is growing far faster than the growth rate of our capacity to mitigate or respond to those threats. I was speaking with someone in the fact-checking network who said, there's now 200 billion messages a day going through WhatsApp, 15 billion going through Facebook. They get about 100 fact checks per day. If you think about a bank being over-leveraged and how much risk are they, how far over their skis are they, we've got about 200 billion to 100 in terms of scale of information that's running through a system without moderation. With, as Senator Sass said, the decentralized incentive for yellow journalism. If it bleeds, it leads. It wants to make each of us into yellow journalists because we each get more rewarded the more extreme things that we say in a certain way. So in a subtle way, in this very slow climate change culture kind of way, just by 2% increasing the kind of outrageousness of what you're saying, the sensationalism of what you're saying, you get a few more likes, you get a few more hits, and so you keep doing it, and suddenly that heats up the global conversation and has us not even recognize our fellow Americans as fellow Americans.
There's also more than just criticism.
A mass psychosis is an epidemic of madness, and it occurs when a large portion of it.
Okay, is this it? It's just personal questions where he goes on and gives his like retarded opinions. Okay. This video is going to get no traction. This video is going to get no traction. Nobody's going to pay attention to this. The case that he's presented isn't like bolted on at all. All these managed to prove is that like, well, they don't have evidence that I was the one who started these rumors about Nexpo. Okay. There seems to be contradictory stuff between it. Nexpo also like talked Night Docs. Mutahar apparently talked Tommy C, but there's no evidence of that. There's nothing verifiable. But Mutahar seemed to buy into the. It sounds like the whole friendship group bought into those allegations far more than they let on, and it seems like everyone in there was very, very bitchy, and they were like, taking the piss out of the guy. Like the allegations from Magnetar's partner and the other women against them. I mean, to be fair, that was more of like a retrospective, a re-examination of stuff. But he's tried to box way above his fucking weight with this, and he's going to fail. This isn't going to change the dial at all. He's not going to become a celebrated or a recognized content creator. Again, he's not going to have a good reputation. I do feel bad for him. When MamaMax said that he pegged Pablo Sonny, what did he mean by that?